Good afternoon, everybody. It is cold in Buffalo. The Los Angeles Raiders and Buffalo Bills, Rich Stadium. How cold is it? Well, the good news is the temperature at kickoff is 42. The bad news, the wind chill factor is 18. Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen. What effect is this going to have, not only on us, but what effect will it have on the Raiders and on the Buffalo Bills?
Well, you know, last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Raiders just seemed to absolutely lay down. A team that was 0-10. A little snow came in. It looked like they'd never seen it before. So the Raiders have to prepare not only for the Buffalo Bills, but for the elements if they get worse as the game goes on. But quite frankly, Charlie, I think they're very lucky that there's no snow here today.
And the Bills, of course, they are used to this kind of weather. Very important ball game. We say that at this time of the year. But when you look at the 8 teams in contention for the 5 playoff spots with Miami, Kansas City, and Houston leading, everybody else right now shooting for a wild card spot. Buffalo's record is 8-3, and the Raiders are 6-5.
Yeah, the Raiders absolutely have to have this game today, because if they don't, it forces them into a position where they absolutely have to win their last 4 to make the hunt.
And both ball clubs have been struggling offensively.
Yeah, they've been downright offensive. You know, the arguments here in the press and everything else with regards to Buffalo, you'd think that they were 3-8 instead of 8-3. And on the other side of the ball, the Raiders only 1 touchdown in the last 10 quarters.
And here is Art Shell, the head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. And Marv Levy is the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. We talked with Jim Kelly, the quarterback of Buffalo, and you talked in the pregame show about the bickering Bills. Well, you know, they have been bickering, but this is a ball club that can get away with it.
Angers me at times when you watch film and see the reason you got sacked is because somebody decided it was their time to take a play off. That wasn't necessarily directed at his offensive lineman. Jim made the point. He says there are a lot of guys here. It's an 11-man game. Everybody has to contribute, and if one guy decides that he's not going to do it, then that ruins the whole play.
The Raiders will be kicking off for Buffalo. Don Beebe, number 82, and Russell Copeland, number 85, are the return men. In the first quarter, the Raiders will have the win. And we are underway. A little squib side kick, and it rolls through, picked up at the 11-yard line by Russell Copeland. And he's out to around the 23. Let's look at the offense of the Buffalo Bills. There's an offensive line of Fina, Richard, Hall, Davis, and Ballard. And the K-Gun, as a player, is down. And this is the standard offense for the Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly, of course, with Thurman Thomas, Bill Brooks, Andre Reed, Don Beebe, with 3 wide receivers. Pete Metzeler is the tight end. And Nate Turner, who is the sole fullback in the lineup for the Buffalo Bills, is the player who is injured on the opening kickoff.
Charlie, that's a pretty big deal because their starting fullback, Carwell Gardner, has been out over the last 2 weeks. Nate Turner in the wedge. Try and see from the left of your screen. You see number 22 go down. Right there, you see the leg go out from under him right there at the top. Boy, that's tough. Number 21, Nate Turner, the right leg, 6'1", 255 pounds. Very much impressed the Buffalo Bill brass in the preseason. The man, despite that girth, runs the 40 in 4.55.
Take a look at the defense for the Los Angeles Raiders. This will be their pirate defense because the Bills will go standard now with the 3 wide, and so the Raiders will go standard basically with this defense with Howie Long, Chester McLaughlin, Harrison, Townsend, Kelly, and Winston Moss. And in the secondary, with Terry McDaniel, Lionel Washington, Darrell Hoskins, Eddie Anderson, and Torrin Dorn.
Last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, Thurman Thomas held to 25 yards. That gave their pass rushers a chance to pin their ears back and just come after Kelly. They can't afford that with the Raiders. 36 sacks, 3rd in the NFL in that category.
And Kelly drops it off to Thurman Thomas. Thomas right side. And he is taken out of bounds at the 31-yard line. 38% of the offensive plays Thurman Thomas is involved with, and 36% of the offensive yardage he is responsible for. Here is the slot on the near side. And as you said, the huddle tie, which is something we simply do not see that often from the Buffalo Bills. Thurman Thomas gets the call. He's stopped by Aaron Wallace. And remember yesterday when we were talking with Jim Kelly, and I mentioned something about calling the plays and the plays coming in from the sideline and making changes and all that. you know, and the time that it takes and the difference in calling him in a huddle, he said, it's been so long since I've been in a huddle, I really can't answer your question.
That's funny. Yeah. He's certainly taking his time.
3rd down and 7 with the loss. The ball back at the 27-yard line. And the pass is incomplete to Bill Blow. So it will be 3 and out for the Buffalo Bills. Lionel Washington had the coverage for the Raiders, and that means that Chris Moore will come in for Buffalo to kick it away.
Catchable ball, but Jim Kelly a little upset with himself. He needs to bring it back just a little bit long, but Bill Brooks, I think, feels like he probably could have made that catch. Hits him right in the hands, even though he's extended. We've seen Bill Brooks make catches like that throughout his career, both here and with the Colts.
And here is Chris Moore with a 40.4-yard average, and Tim Brown is the return man. Almost blocked. Fair catch is called for, and then is taken at the 33-yard line. 40 yards on the kick, no return.
Penalty flag is down.
Flag dropped at the 35-yard line. An invalid fair catch signal.
Number 81 on the receiver.
That was on Tim Brown. That's a good call. He just kind of waved to the side. The rule says you've got to put your hand above your head and wave it back and forth. And he didn't do that.
Well, now that's interesting because Art Shell say to himself, wait a minute, this is a veteran player. Let's see where it is. It's off to the side. Right there, what it looks like there is that he wanted to wave people off, but now they've changed their mind and decided that it was a valid fair catch signal, even though his hand was not above his head. And I think that's fine. A little bit, I'm sure, certainly Buffalo wasn't fooled by it. And that's what they're beefing about now, but they let it go. So I don't understand why Whiskey and Shell want to get into it. They let them have it.
All right, the Raiders go to work at the 33, and so do the fans. And here is the rookie Greg Robinson. And he picks up almost 10 yards on the opening play. Mark Kelso and James Williams with the tackle. Let's look at the setup for the Raiders. That offensive line of Perry, Wisniewski, Mosbar, Montoya, and Bruce Wilkerson. With Jeff Hostetler, Steve Smith, Greg Robinson, Alexander Wright, Tim Brown, and Ethan Horton.
And then when they go to their 3rd down package, they bring in Tyrone Montgomery as the 3rd down back, and look out for the speed of Ismail and Jet.
The change around, it is a 1st down. And the Raiders have the ball at their own 44-yard line. A very knowledgeable crowd here at Rich Stadium, trying to make it very difficult for Jeff Hostetler to call an audible at the line of scrimmage. And this is a stadium that holds the sound well. And the second back through is Robinson, and there's nothing there. Cornelius Bennett makes the tackle.
Cornelius Bennett may have made the tackle, but Bruce Smith's the one that makes the play. Watch him come upfield here against Gerald Perry. Just shucks him off to the side, takes him and Steve Smith, forcing him to cut back, and Bruce Smith is excited about that. Charlie, when we talked to Art Shell yesterday, he said that Bruce Smith had complained to him over the fact that they had been triple teaming him, and Art Shell's response was in effect, yeah, so?
So? In fact, we have Art Shell's keys to success in the ball game. We have a Raider player who is shaken up, and the trainers have come out. Is that Wisniewski?
Steve Wisniewski, they're all-pro left guard. This would be a major loss, particularly in light of the fact that what they do with Bruce Smith on passing downs is they move him all over the place. So if indeed this is a problem for Wisniewski, look for Bruce Smith on passing downs to shift down over the left guard of the Raiders.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. And talking with the Raiders yesterday, they pointed out that Wisniewski is again playing at his Pro Bowl level. 2nd down and 10, no score. 12 and a half minutes left to go first quarter. Hostetler to throw, pressure from the backside. He's going to scramble. Nice inside-out move and heads for the sideline. Gogani has finally chased him out of bounds.
Oh, Bruce Smith overran him. Watch at the top of your screen. You see Bruce Smith is going to get past Gerald Perry. And for some reason, look at how Hostetler steps back right there. If he uses his left hand, he gets the ball, but he does it a little bit too late. And that enables Hostetler to scramble for within a yard and a half of the first down. Look at the speed he gets to the outside. This is what's frustrating for offensive tackles. And right there, he was within arm's length of Hostetler, but couldn't make the play.
Nick Bell is now into the offensive set. Third down and short. Bell gets the call. He needed, as John pointed out, a yard and a half. And Nick Bell, who has been bothered by a hamstring, a couple of ankle injuries, and shin splints, finally is healthy.
You know, even though, Charlie, that was clearly a running situation, I like that offense for the Raiders because the strength for them offensively are their three wideouts. And so when you get Jet, Ismail, Tim Brown, or Alexander Wright on the field as often as possible, that gives them the opportunity for more big plays. And with Bell back there, a 250-pounder, I think personally that could really open up their passing game.
And it is a first down.
Oh, that was close.
The report on Nate Turner, an injured right knee. We do not know whether or not he can return. And Steve Wisniewski, he was hit in the head, and he'll stay out a couple of plays. So that means he should be okay.
I was going to say, that's kind of redundant. That's hit in the head in football. What a surprise.
First down at the Buffalo 46-yard line. The Bills 3 and out. This is the first offensive thrust of the Raiders. Here is Steve Smith. That is only his 42nd carry from scrimmage this year. And Darryl Talley makes the tackle. Defensively for the Bills, their front seven of Hanson, Wright, Smith, Bennett, Patton, Verganius, and Darryl Talley, with Williams, Odoms, Jones, and Kelso in the secondary.
And look when they go to the nickel package, the birthday boy, 23 years of age, the first-round pick of the Buffalo Bills, Thomas Smith.
Second down and 10. Hostetler to throw. Has pressure up the middle, steps away from it, looks back, finds a man open over the middle, and the pass is complete. He goes to Steve Smith. We mentioned a moment ago his 42nd rush. That is his 15th reception. He picks up 18 yards on the play. We talked with him yesterday. He said rushing and receiving, that goes round and round. But for a fullback, blocking is always there.
Well, in this case, making the catch is what happens. You can see right there, Darryl Talley falls off of him. He was covering him all over the field. Then at the last minute decided to come up in anticipation of Hostetler running the ball. Steve Smith makes the catch, but Hostetler's the one that made that play.
And the first down at the 27-yard line. And here is Robinson around the corner of the 15 and then decked at the 14-yard line. He was nailed by Henry Jones at the 14, but he'll pick up the first down en route. And he comes up limping.
Did a great job on the contain. The support for the run support from the secondary is poor. Watch the left of your screen. Nate Owens is in motion. He cuts back to the inside on the block of Wright, and right there, there's nobody left. There's no cornerback out there, and Henry Jones comes up, but a little bit too late. They get the first down. You see the right ankle turned underneath of Robinson. That seems to be what the problem is right now.
And Nick Bell is back into the offensive set. And the ball carrier is Steve Smith. And Smith's going to pick up about 3 on the plus. And there is Greg Robinson limping along the sideline.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
And now the update on Nate Turner with the injured right knee. He is out for the game, will not return. So mark the ball just outside the 10-yard line, and it is second down and 6. Right in motion to give is to Nick Bell. And Bell is cut down inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line by Mark Kelso.
Exact same play that they did before, and that was Kelso who makes the nice tackle, but he paid for it. Don't forget, Charlie, Nick Bell, 6'2", 252 pounds. That is a load coming up the field, and Kelso paid for it.
But already in the ball game, we've had Nate Turner and now Mark Kelso go down for the Bills. Steve Wisniewski has gone down along with Greg Robinson for the Raiders. So we'll step aside. We have 8:23 left to go, first quarter, and we have no score. Back in a moment. Coming to the sideline, here's what happened.
Watch the left knee right here. Ooh. Bang! Look at that, hit him right on the top of the head. And now you know why Mark Kelso wears that extra little piece of helmet on top of his head. He has had concussions in the past. And right there, they're asking him, what stadium are you in? What time is it? You can see right there, great shot by Andy Rosenberg. The extra little piece of helmet that is a part of that because of his past head problems.
Third down and 2. The ball just outside the 6-yard line. The Raiders now with 3 wide receivers. Steve Smith is the remaining back. And Hostetler is hands off just as he was being sacked and scrambling. In the backfield is the Rocket Ismail. Cornelius Bennett shot through. Whoa!
I tell you what, Charlie, they would have been better off if Hostetler would have been sacked. It would have only been about a 3 or 4 yard loss. In this case, watch as Ismail comes around. Cornelius Bennett just knifes in, has him. That was actually very fortunate for the Raiders to get back. It wasn't a handoff. It just brushed off his shoulder pad. But then Ismail, in trying to make something happen, continues to go backwards, and that enables the pursuit to go get him.
And he loses 13 on the play. Here's the field goal attempt from the 27. An attempt of 37 yards by Jeff Traeger. And this one he's got.
Charlie, I tell you, he really needed that one after last week when he missed 4 field goals against the Cincinnati Bengals. That does a lot for his confidence. Jeff Hostetler knows that. That's why he went out to shake his hand. 3-0 Raiders.
And here is the kickoff with Beebe and Copeland. The deep backs on the return. Here is Russell Copeland. Copeland tries the corner. Cannot quite get around the corner. He'll be out of bounds at around the 18-yard line. They may spot it at the 19. And here is the natural gas quarterback efficiency leaders.
John Elway at the top. You can see down there 5 and 10, Kelly and Hostetler. Elway, I would guess, would have to be, if he continues, he will be the all-pro quarterback for 1993.
And now Buffalo, their second opportunity on offense. And again, they come out of the huddle. The remaining back is Kenneth Davis. Kelly's pass is complete to Andre Reed.
Andre Reed, the man who in the paper today was fined for his comments about the game plan and part of the problems that they've had. Off to a great start beginning the season with 3 touchdowns, but since then has been relatively quiet. Simple little square out pattern. Moss comes over and makes the play on it.
And it'll be second down and 4 after the gain of 6. And Kenneth Davis is the ball carrier, and he is stopped at the 25-yard line.
Twice now they've tried to run the ball and very ineffective. Anthony Smith, somebody who's known for his pass rush, it really bothers him when they say that's all he can do. But, of course, in that case, nobody touches him, and Kenneth Davis cuts right back into him, and that's the reason they lost a yard.
The Bills, their second offensive opportunity, they're using the huddle. I'm so used to them with their no huddle, with their K-gun. It's like they're moving in molasses.
Well, not only that, but it doesn't give the crowd a chance to get into the game. You know, they're so used to the thing being upbeat, as you say, and fast, that the crowd has yet to really get into the game offensively for Buffalo.
Kelly throws far side. It is incomplete. Thurman Thomas, the intended receiver, and Mike Jones knocked it away. So for the second time in the first quarter, it will be 3 and out for Buffalo.
Something you don't see very often. Mike Jones, great coverage, man for man there. Thurman Thomas goes up. He had his back turned, but he put his hand up, and evidently the official decided it was not face guarding. The Bills had exactly what they wanted, a linebacker on Thurman Thomas, man for man. Right, didn't make the throw.
Right hand, right place, right time. Knocked it away. And here is the kick by Chris Moore. Now the Bearcats waved everywhere.
He really did.
He's like a windshield wiper. I want to make sure. And we've got a motion call against Buffalo. 37 yards on the kick, no return. Now we'll check out the penalty flag.
Well, I'd say with the field position, there's no way that the Raiders are going to take that penalty. They'll refuse it. Start at the 39-yard line. The game of field position has definitely been the Raiders.
Illegal motion. Number 88 of the kicking team. The penalty is declined. First down.
So we'll take a timeout. The Raiders have a 3-0 lead with 5:41 left in the first. 1991 AFC Championship game, the Raiders and the Bills. Thurman Thomas rushed for 138 yards and 1 touchdown as the Bills destroyed the Raiders 51-3, the largest margin of victory in club history, and the win advanced the Bills to their first Super Bowl, dancing all the way.
Charlie, I was reporting on the sideline for that game, and if it's possible to say the game wasn't as close as the score would indicate. It was 41-3 at halftime. That was an ugly day.
Steve Wisniewski is back in the ballgame. Greg Robinson is back in both for the Raiders. Hostetler throws right side. Steve Smith down the sideline, shakes the tackle and goes out of bounds.
Seems ironic that here we would be talking about Steve Smith and his blocking ability, and yesterday I asked him as to why he wasn't catching the ball more. Now, on 2 successive series, he has made big catches to keep drives going. He wants to go to James Jett here long, gets it to Smith, and Bennett takes a little bit too long here to get over. And Steve Smith, 245-pounder, runs right through the arm tackle and gets some extra yards for the Raiders. Bruce Smith coming inside, takes it in the face, and Wisniewski comes across and helps him out. Blocks him long after the play, and Smith doesn't appreciate it.
And we have a flag. It is a first down at the Buffalo 42-yard line.
See, it's the price of fame here with regards to Bruce Smith. He's somebody that gets double-teamed week in and week out. I don't know why he gets upset about it, but that's the way it goes. Last week when we were in Seattle, we had Cortez Kennedy, and we talked to Wade Phillips. He says, what's a given? We're putting 2 guys on him, and that's the way it is with Bruce Smith. That's the way you have to do it.
When we talked with Art Shells, he had his keys for today's game, and he had 4 of them. Run the ball 30 times, score 20 more points, attack in the red zone, and triple team Bruce Smith.
He was only half joking about that.
With the penalty, it is first down and 15 at the Buffalo 47-yard line. Raiders lead it by a score of 3-0. And Hostetler to throw. He wants to set a screen and then come back. He's throwing this one away. He was out of time. Now for an update, let's go to New York City. Jim?
Well, Charlie and Todd, you heard Mike Ditka tease the possibility of a New England upset in Pittsburgh today. And now the Patriots have their first quarter touchdown of the year on Drew Bledsoe's 3-yard TD pass to tight end Alvin Coates, who has been a regular contributor. Make it Ben Coates. And throwing back to Charlie and Todd.
All right, thank you, Jim. Here with 5:07 left to go in the first. The Raiders lead Buffalo by a score of 3-0. Hostetler has completed 2 of 3 passes for 38 yards. Greg Robinson, with an injured right ankle, now back into the lineup, has 24 yards rushing in 3 carries. Second down and 15. And Hostetler back. Good protection. Pass is complete at the 37-yard line to the tight end Ethan Horton, and Nate Odens and Keith Gogenius were right there, and they closed down on him immediately, and Bruce Smith is in a jawing contest with Steve Wisniewski.
This is something that Wisniewski is about. You can see now he slaps hands with Gerald Perry. They're getting him irritated. They want to get Bruce Smith frustrated. There he gets bumped by the fullback, bumped by the tackle. Now the guard comes and knocks him down. Not only knocks him down, but then keeps him pinned. Hand on the face mask. And look at that. Going for the goose. Kicking him where he shouldn't be kicking him. I tell you what. It's going to be a battle today.
Third down and 5. Flag is down. Ball is knocked away. Good defensive play by Mickey Washington. Tim Brown, the intended receiver. And it will be 4th down holding against the Raiders, probably refused.
Well, they'll refuse the penalty, but that's a little comeuppance for the Buffalo defense. I believe the holding is on Wisniewski.
And Marv Levy, of course, said we will refuse it.
Interesting point there, too, Charlie. If you notice, Bruce Smith was at left defensive end.
Number 76, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
It is on Wisniewski. You notice Marv Levy, they saw him waving off. We talked with Marv yesterday, and with all the bickering and the press and everything that's been going on here, we asked Marv his reaction. He said, in my car, I've been listening to a lot of good music.
He leaves that sports radio alone. Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
So Jeff Gossett will be punting. Russell Copeland is the return man. 1:01. That is the time remaining. First quarter. Raiders up 3-0. He was going for the corner, and then he caught it and just drilled it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
That was
not a very good effort.
You're right. He shanked it.
They'll bring it out to the 20. We'll be back in just a moment. Raiders lead it 3-0. This is for 14. Thurman Thomas, one rush. He lost 4 yards. 3 and out. 3 and out. The Bills still looking for their first down. And here is Thurman Thomas, and Winston Moss makes the tackle.
6-yard gain. 7-4.
Home field advantage has been a big deal for the Buffalo Bills. Take a look at the difference in points at Rich Stadium and away. More than twice as many points at home and close to 100 more yards here at Rich Stadium. That is a definite home field advantage. And one of the reasons, quite obviously, Charlie, why they want to win the games and get the home field advantage, because every time the playoffs had to go through Rich Stadium, they've been winners.
And the 12th man, the fans here, have been an integral part of that. Winston Moss was shaken up on the play.
If they don't get a first down this series, I'm gonna bet they go back to the no huddle. I mean, the thing is that, hey, let's not forget, they've gone to 3 Super Bowls with the no huddle. They're 8-3 with the no huddle. Why at this juncture of the season, regardless of what the players are complaining about, why would you change?
Second down and 5, the ball at the 25-yard line. The Raiders are saying there was movement by the offensive line, in other words, a false start, and they would make contact. And he's going to go. I think what we had was movement by Andre Reed, and now he can move and readjust. He is not an offensive lineman.
Left defensive end, 5 yards.
It's 94 Anthony Smith. You know what happens a lot of times is that the adjustment by the right tackle. Let's take a look at Howard Ballard. What's he doing? Oh, he did. He sure did. He flexed a little bit.
He did.
But it was too late. If Anthony Smith would have done it immediately, I think he would have got away with it. But instead, he waited a beat, that 1001, and once he jumped across, the official didn't call it. He had a legitimate beat.
That is a first down for Buffalo. That is their first down in the ball game, and they get it by a penalty. And here is Thurman Thomas. He's going to pick up 3 to the 33-yard line. It'll be second down and 7. We're moving on the 3-minute mark, time remaining in the first quarter. And speaking of threes, the Raiders are out in front by a score of 3-0.
Thurman Thomas heading into the game needed 13 yards to surpass the 1,000-yard mark. We thought, well, he'll get that in the first series, but his first carry is a 4-yard loss, so he's not close just yet.
Kelly with pressure from the backside. Throw passes complete to Don Beebe. And a gain of 17 yards on the play. And the first down.
Kelly usually not used to doing the scrambling, but that pass rush, they come with 5 in this case. Kelly comes out to the right, gets hammered by Jones, but gets the ball. Nice throw here. Here's the comeback pattern by Beebe. Once McDaniel looks into the backfield, falls down. That enables Beebe to get open for the first.
And the ball at the 50-yard line, and a first down for the Buffalo Bills. And Kelly to throw. Over the middle, pass is complete for a gain of 8. There's a flag down. Pete Metzelaars, the tight end. He had 10 receptions last week against Kansas City. He was decked immediately. And we've got flags. It will be a motion call against Buffalo.
Interesting, you would have thought, if you would have told me coming into this game.
The right wide out. 5-yard penalty. First down.
If you would have told me heading into this game that Pete Metzelaars is going to be the leading receiver for the Buffalo Bills, I would have been shocked. But as you mentioned, 10 catches last week, 43 coming into this game. He is the leading receiver for the Buffalo Bills, and therein might be one of the problems as to why their offense isn't so effective, because in the past it's always been Andre Reed or some wideout who's making big plays. Metzelaars is a quality tight end. He's been around the league a long time, but if he's leading the receptions, that means they're not getting the ball downfield.
First and 15, and the pass is incomplete, going downfield to Don Beebe. So it'll be second down and 15, and bring the ball back to the 45-yard line. The only scoring in the ball game, Jeff Jaeger with the 37-yard field goal for the Los Angeles Raiders. That was in their opening drive. On a very cold and windy afternoon, here at Rich Stadium with a wind chill factor of 18 degrees. So bundle up around your television set and join us this afternoon.
I got to tell you, it's very...
I love the fans here. They come prepared.
But it feels strange to me, them being in a huddle. It feels strange.
Yeah. Kelly, a couple of pumps. He pulls it back, and then he throws to Keith McKellar, and it is incomplete. Kelly had the coverage. Joe Kelly for the Raiders, the linebacker. And it's going to be 3rd down and 15.
Looks to me like motion again. They'll certainly refuse that. Put him in 3rd and 15. Kelly just seems a little bit out of sync. And certainly a lot of it has to do...
Number 82, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
It's on Don Beebe.
And you got to say, you know, they always talk about in baseball, Charlie, as you well know, pitchers getting in a rhythm, taking an inning or so to get things going. You can practice a huddle during the week, but that's not the same as doing it in the game. It's a different pace, it's a different speed. People are coming full speed defensively. And I dare say going against a defense like the Raiders, first in the league in pass defense, to now go at the huddle doesn't seem to make much sense.
A pump fake. Kelly is in trouble, scrambles away. Now he throws downfield, and he throws this one away. So Buffalo now 0 for 3 in 3rd down opportunities. They have failed to convert. It will be 4th down, and the Bills will kick it away.
Marv's upset with the side judge, but what he should be upset with is this graphic that you just pointed out, 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. Never thought that you'd think of the Buffalo Bills getting into an exchange of punts.
So Chris Moore will be kicking to Tim Brown.
We got to make that.
Tim Brown is the only Raider in history who has scored a touchdown, rushing, receiving, punt returning, and kickoff returning. And this punt is going to go into the end zone for the touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line, a punt of 55 yards. Let's go back in time. January the 27th, 1991, Super Bowl 25, Tampa Stadium. That's the last time that Jeff Hostetler faced the Bills. Filling in for the injured Phil Simms. Hostetler completed 20 of 32 attempts, 222 yards, and this one touchdown. The Giants defeated the Bills 20-19.
I remember that touchdown at the end of the first half was arguably the biggest play of the game. The Bills were leading 12-3, and that got them back within 12-10. And then their running game, and Otis Anderson took over.
And Jeff is 3 for 5 in this ballgame. A right elbow injury to Andre Reed. He is out for the game. I'm not sure we'll have enough players to finish. Greg Robinson is decked by Cornelius Bennett.
That's the 3rd time that he's come in untouched. He knifes between the tight end. Ethan Horton gets absolutely no piece of him at all. He's the one that has to come down and block down on him. All he got is a piece of his shoulder. And that enabled Bennett to get in the backfield, nail him for the big loss.
And Bennett had been nailed with some criticism recently as the missing man of the defense. Well, he has certainly made his presence felt in this ballgame. 2nd down and 15. And here is Steve Smith. And he's going to ramble for 3, maybe 4. Keith Gorganius makes the tackle. And I think we're probably seeing more of Steve Smith offensively than we have seen all year with the Raiders.
And now he's limping. Another guy who's limping.
They'll mark the ball at the 20-yard line. Hostetler has completed 3 of 5 for 49 yards. Third down and 10.
Hostetler complained to us yesterday about the 40-second clock, that without that 5 seconds, he could not communicate to the people outside and could not audible. There, right there, he has to burn a timeout at his own 20-yard line. 3rd and 10, and you can tell by as he snapped his head back, he's frustrated.
He says, I have time to see things, but I don't have time to make the adjustments to call them. I think we ought to go back. These are his quotes. We ought to go either to the 45-second or possibly going back to the old 30-second clock where they rewind it. Kansas City, Denver, the Raiders. San Diego and Seattle. Well, most of you to see the second half of the doubleheader. I've got a quick scoring update. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
New England 14, Pittsburgh nothing.
Holy cow. I was about to say, with regards to that doubleheader, very definite possibility of the two front runners, Denver and Kansas City, getting knocked off in San Diego and Seattle. Kansas City coming off a big win against Buffalo. They could be down a little bit.
Third down and 10. Hostetler all the time in the world. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. He throws on the run, and the pass is complete. That is a great throw by Jeff Hostetler to Tim Brown. 22 yards. Flushed out of the pocket. He's a right-hander. He is going to his left. He cannot set himself. He drills it. He picks up the first down. Into the period. Back in a moment.
Here's triple team number 1. Here's first. Here's the second. Now watch when he comes around inside. Steve Wisniewski's going to be waiting for him right there. Number 76, that's number 3. 3 guys get a piece of Bruce Smith before he finally rushes down and gets Hostetler at the end of the play. And you can see, caught him at the knee. He limped off a little bit, but evidently he's all right.
And it is a first down at the 42-yard line. Raiders in their own territory, leading 3-0 to start the second quarter. And here is Greg Robinson.
Robinson, the ball carrier.
Robinson inside the 45 to the 43-yard line of Buffalo. A gain of 14 yards on the play and the first down.
One of the weaknesses of Bruce Smith is in the run game. He takes an inside move. Perry pushes him down, and Robinson cuts right behind him.
That is the second longest rush from scrimmage this year for the Raiders. And we talked with Steve Smith. We asked him about Greg Robinson. He said, well, here's a kid that has a lot of heart.
And take a look at the longest run this season, Charlie. 17 yards by 38-year-old Vince Evans.
Hostetler comes to the near side to Robinson. And it's going to be close to the first down. Darryl Talley was there waiting for him. Darryl Talley is the man who told us yesterday when we talked to him that this will be a very physical ball game.
Well, he's turned out to be prophetic, but I tell you what, physical up front, the offensive line for the Raiders is doing an outstanding job giving Hostetler time. In the last 4 times, he's had at least 5 seconds to throw the ball, and the Bills have to get some pass rush to Hostetler, or else it's going to be a long day.
Second down and 1, the ball at the 34-yard line. Ismael going in motion, and here is Nick Bell. He's going to pick up the first down, close to the 30-yard line. Keith Goganius and Matt Darby, who has replaced Mark Kelso, who was out with a concussion. They make the stop. It's a first down.
Motion play coming off to Nick Bell. Leading him through there is Robinson, showing that he can also block. Take a look at the shot, though. The Bell takes at the end from Darby. Darby in for the injured Mark Kelso. It's a pretty good lick on Bell.
The ball at the 30-yard line of Buffalo and a first down for the Raiders. Raiders lead it 3-0. 13 minutes time remaining first half. And here is Robinson as he jumps to the outside, slices through inside the 20. He's got the first down. Barnett and Odoms make the tackle. Let's go to New York for an update.
And, Charlie, we take you to Three River Stadium, where the Patriots aren't satisfied with the 7-0 lead. That 28-yard pass from Bledsoe to fellow rookie Vincent Brisby over All-Pro corner Rod Woodson sets up a Leonard Russell TD run that makes it 14-0 New England over Pittsburgh as they go to the second. Back to Charlie and Todd.
Nice throw, too. Boy, that was right on the money.
Here in Buffalo, Robinson gets the call again. That is his 7th carry of the ball game, and he has now rushed for 47 yards. Cornelius Bennett making the tackle. It will be second down and 8.
Well, remember that part of what Art Shell was talking about, running the ball 30 times, he's definitely on schedule to do that at this point. I believe that's about the 15th carry for the Raiders this early in the game.
And Robinson limping off he becomes part of the walking wounded of this ball game. Randy Jordan, the rookie free agent from North Carolina, is into the offensive set for the Raiders.
That's interesting. That must mean that Nick Bell's a little bit banged up, too. Nick Bell has had a very difficult time staying healthy at all this year.
No, Bell is in the lineup with him. So it is Nick Bell and Randy Jordan as they go with a 2-back set.
So Jordan's a fullback.
Hostetler knocked away. It was Jeff Wright who knocked it down. Number 91. Hostetler is complaining.
The one thing he can't complain about is the protection. I'll tell you what, he's complaining downfield that somebody was held. But he certainly can't beef about the fact they're taking care of him back there.
So it'll be third down.
Take a look at the time that Hostetler gets here.
Here's what he's complaining about. Let's go back. We'll go back to the start.
Well, but of course...
No, the defense was jumping on him. They were in the neutral zone and moving when the ball was snapped. The Richmond saved that. He said, wait a minute, I got to have the snap before they can come after me. Now he throws, and this is incomplete at the 9-yard line. Jim Brown, the intended receiver, with James Williams and Mickey Washington with the coverage.
Take a look at Bruce Smith. Once again, take a look at the white shirts that come out. Here's the tight end. The tight end comes out. Then here's the tackle. Now watch, there's the fullback. Bell was there in case he took an inside thing. You know, I have to laugh because we were chuckling about the idea there were going to be 3 guys, but there were. 3 white shirts on Bruce Smith's side.
And now a 35-yard field goal attempt by Jeff Jager. He is hit from 37 yards away, the only scoring in the ballgame. And this one is partially blocked, but it's no good. It may have been Bruce Smith who got a hand on it. We'll be back in a moment.
Right there, you can see the left hand. It was Phil Hansen, number 90. Watch the middle. You'll see Bruce Smith come in the gap, and watch Hansen with the right hand come up. It's going to hit his hand right there. Take a look at the left hand that comes up. Just gets a piece of it. Watches the ball changes spin rather. Phil Hansen is the one that gets that block.
Well, along the line, we gave credit to Bruce Smith, Jeff Wright, and Phil Hansen that makes it official. Now from the 20-yard line, Kelly throws a gain of 5 to the 25-yard line. Bill Brooks with a sliding reception. Mike Jones is the man who covered him. And now they're into, finally, the K-gun.
And now you can feel a little rumble in the crowd, too. You can feel a little bit of energy coming back, and I think that Jim Kelly's much more comfortable in this.
And here's Thurman Thomas, and he's more comfortable also. And he has the first down. He'll run for about 10 on the play. Winston Moss makes the tackle.
Charlie, with that carry now, Thurman Thomas goes over 1,000 yards, his 5th straight 1,000-yard season.
What's his total? Let's make it official. Make sure he picked up 10 there. Should be. Yeah, you're right. He needed 13. He's got 14. 1,001 on the year. Kelly throws downfield. Has a man wide open at the 35. It's Italian Metzeler. He's to the 50, the 14-yard line. Oh, the Raiders blew coverage. He was all alone.
When he starts to rush, and this is what happens with the no huddle, the defense gets a little discombobulated. I guess I owe Metzelars an apology because I talked about how we never caught any big passes, but that's a big one right there down to the 14-yard line. And you're right, Charlie, blown coverage on the part of the Raiders.
And a gain of 51 yards on the play by the tight end. And a first down at the 14. The Raiders say, wait a minute. We need a timeout. We need to regroup. Raiders have the lead, 3-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Going to run a corner route. Now watch the eyes of the people here. When he runs his corner route and gets behind, they look into the backfield. And then as soon as Kelly starts to scramble, they start going towards him. And they just totally lose Metzelars back here. And that enables them to get the big play. Defensive backs are taught you got to stay with your man. Look at how wide open Metzelars is.
And a total of 51 yards on the play to the 14-yard line of the Raiders. And a first down for Buffalo.
People forget he was an All-American basketball player at Wabash University. That was his first sport, which makes sense at 6'7", 250.
And Kelly's throwing this one away.
And they're going to call Greg Townsend for hitting him late.
Costly penalty, and no reason for it.
Well, when the quarterback throws the ball through the goalpost, clearly you know that he's just trying to get rid of the ball.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 93 defense.
Look at the end of the play. The ball is long gone, and right there he hits him in the middle of the back. Clearly he could have held up, and that's unfortunate. Greg Townsend, Pro Bowl defensive end, over 100 career sacks, not a good decision. There you can see the Raiders worst in the league at penalties, and that just follows suit right there.
And so it will be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line as they split the distance. And here is Thurman Thomas to about the 3. Derek Hoskins with the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go.
I hate to say we've used this line before. We've used it ad nauseum, but Bum Phillips once said something which was semi-profound, which was, you dance with who brung you. They've gotten this far with the no-huddle offense. They try to huddle, and it just doesn't make any sense. Look at the strength. Look at that.
And Thurman Thomas. And he is the dance partner that brung him here. And he scores the touchdown. An 80-yard drive in 6 plays.
5'10", 200 pounds. He's not just a scat back. He gets stopped right here. Take a look at the strength that he powers through. Eddie Anderson, number 33 for the Raiders, is a 500-pound bench presser. But he couldn't hold that stout one from Oklahoma State. I saw an interview with him one time. He said, who's the best running back in the NFL? And Thurman Thomas says, I'm not sure, but I do know he's from Oklahoma State. Either him or Barry.
And the extra point is good, and the Buffalo Bills are out in front for the first time of the ballgame by a score of 7-3 as Thurman dances into the end zone. 9:19, that is the time remaining first half. Buffalo leads for the first time 7-3. Steve Christie will be kicking off. Willie Gault is back with Rocket Ismail.
A little speed there, huh? Whew, man. But they want Ismail to get the ball. That's why they're standing like that.
And he does get the ball, but he will down it in the end zone to bring it out to the 20-yard line. Let's go back. Thurman Thomas. We mentioned he was over the 1,000-yard mark for the season. Well, this is the 5th time he joins a select crowd.
Pretty good company. Eric Dickerson, a certain Hall of Famer, over 13,000 yards, 2105 in 1984. Franco Harris, 8-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer. Walter Payton, what else can you say? 16,736 yards. Jimmy Taylor, another Hall of Famer. The Juice, 5-time 72-76 TD. Another certain Hall of Famer, 3rd all-time. Barry Sanders. How can you debate it? And Thurman Thomas. He belongs in that group.
5 straight 100-yard seasons, over 1,000 yards rushing. Hostetler just dumps this one off out of the backfield to Nick Bell. And he tugs down the sideline. He's going to go out shy of the first down. It'll be 2nd and short. Darryl Talley was there.
Strange thing about this, Charlie, is the Raiders have really stopped themselves with some penalties and some bad drives, drop passes, and of course the last time with a blocked field goal. So even though they're down 7-3, they certainly can't be hanging their heads. They played some good football and really, up to this point, have dominated the Bills except for that last drive.
2nd down and about 1.5 yards to go for the first down. The Raiders trailing for the first time in the ballgame. And here's Nick Bell. He needed 1.5 yards and he got it. So he'll have the first down.
Keith Gogenius had him for a loss, but Bell just ran right through him. That's the kind of running that anticipated when they drafted Bell in the 2nd round a couple of years ago. Watch number 50, Gogenius. He's going to knife through the hole and get a head-up shot right there. Pow! But he just drops off the shoulder. Bell runs right through him and gets the first down.
The Raiders with only 1 touchdown in the last 11 quarters. Hostetler with pressure. The pass is underthrown to Tim Brown. It is incomplete. He was nailed by Jeff Wright. We'll go to New York for an update.
And we take a look at the 3rd touchdown of the day in Three Rivers as the Steelers try to avoid a 3rd loss in a row. They answer New England's 2nd TD on that 5-yard throw from O'Donnell to Merrill Hodge that caps a long drive and cuts the New England lead in half at 14-7 in the 2nd. Now back to Buffalo.
Ironic, Charlie, that here we were talking about Steve Smith making catches, a guy who hadn't been a vital part of the offense. Remember, Merrill Hodge was a great running back for them, 89, 90, 91. Now the blocking back for Foster. Ironic that he'd get a touchdown.
And here is Robinson around the corner.
Robinson, the ball carrier. Darrell Talley and Nate Odom made the stop.
And he is going to go out around the 38-yard line as Darrell Talley and Nate Odoms were there for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, if Robinson can stay healthy, he's been having to come out in and out with limping. He's now over 50 yards rushing. He's having himself quite a first half.
And it is 3rd down and 3. Hostetler has completed 6 of 11 for 90 yards. And the Raiders now go with their 3 wide receiver package. Hostetler deep over the middle, and it's dropped. Rocket Ismail had his hands on it, couldn't pull it in.
Give Nate Odoms credit, though, Charlie. He was right there. Nate Odoms leading the NFL in interceptions. He wanted this game. He told us, I don't care how fast they are. It's my turn to see how fast I am. Running stride for stride with Ismail. Look at him laying out. Just gets a little piece of the ball, and Ismail can't hold on. Great effort by number 37, who's a happy camper today as his alma mater, Wisconsin, is going to the Rose Bowl.
And what did he say about when he was at Wisconsin? He said, we played a lot of homecomings. He said, we were everybody's homecoming team. Every year.
That's right.
And here is the kick. Copeland looks at it and goes out of bounds as far as sideline. They'll mark it at the 20-yard line. We'll step aside for a moment. Buffalo out in front, 7-3. This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen. 7:15 left to go in the first half here at Rich Stadium. And Buffalo out in front of Los Angeles by a score of 7-3.
Rocket Ismail right there. Yeah, Odoms did get a piece of it, but I think that he would say that was probably a catchable ball. And that has been a real problem for Hostetler in the offense over the last couple of weeks. As was mentioned, there's 17 drops and 2 losses. That's unconscionable.
Thurman Thomas picks up 5. Howie Long makes the tackle. Spotted at the 25-yard line. It is 2nd down and 5. And the whole momentum changing offensively for Buffalo once that they went back to the no-huddle. Hit just after the release, saying the pass is incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 5. Kelly now has completed 5 of 11 passes in the ball game for 87 yards. But on that touchdown drive, he was 2 for 2.
Chester McLaughlin last week, 13 tackles and 2 sacks. All of the Raiders say that this is the next all-pro defensive tackle. He is really starting to assert himself here late in the season. First-round pick out of Clemson last season.
Raiders are offside. It's a 3 down. Here's a sack, but it will still cost Los Angeles 5. It may have been Howie Long that was into the neutral zone when the ball was snapped.
It is, and Howie Long walking around the 33-yard line, not very happy with himself. And, of course, Anthony Smith isn't very happy with Howie either, because that would have given him his 13th and NFL-leading sack.
Offside, 75 defense. We're checking to see if it's a first down.
Jim Kelly made the point yesterday when we were talking with him. This is one of the men that he feared. He said he couldn't believe now next month Howie's going to turn 34, and he hasn't aged a bit. He continues to come and continues to be someone that the offensive coordinators have to deal with. Still at the age of nearly 34, a force in this league.
Now that is the measurement to place the ball, as you can see. And as we were told by Bob McElwee, the referee, it is short of the first down. And on the short yardage situation, Buffalo will come in with a 2 tight end set.
Howie Long, the remaining Oakland Raider. His rookie season was 1981. Tremendous career, 7-time Pro Bowler at Villanova University.
The Bills have yet to convert on 3rd down. They are 0 for 3. Now this is 3rd down and a foot. Very makeable. Thurman Thomas, and they're not going to make it. The Bills will be 0 for 4 in 3rd down opportunities, and that means that Chris Moore will be kicking, and it was Andre Bruce of the Raiders who stopped him.
Took him a while to get the play going, and it seemed very predictable. That would have been an ideal time. Look at that. It's an 11-man front. Coming off tackle and knifing in there to help make the play is Patrick Bates, number 29, their first-round pick safety out of Texas A&M, who Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, told us is going to be a great one.
And Chris Moore will be kicking to Tim Brown. Pretty good kick. And nose comes over. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 28-yard line. We have 5:49. That is the time remaining in the first half. A 43-yard kick. Buffalo has the lead, 7-3.
That Iron Man is something else. They are just studs.
Hostetler looking up, comes back right. Pass is complete to Tim Brown, who almost loses his shirt as he picks up a first down at the 40-yard line.
Once again, the pass protection for Hostetler is outstanding. Look at the number of moves he's able to make before he gets inside and gets open. This play is actually designed to go to the left side. He finally comes back. Good hands catching this weather before Williams brings him down.
A gain of 11 yards on the play as they mark it at the 39-yard line. Gene Smith is in the backfield as he returns. He was limping earlier in the ballgame. He has been a major force for the Raiders. And Hostetler goes deep for the middle and is knocked away. Darryl Talley makes the play.
Typical of the kind of plays that he makes. You know, he's 33 years of age, and he does everything an outside linebacker is supposed to do. He supports the run. He's in coverage. Good athletic play. Good extension there at 6'4", 235 to bat that down. You know, on a team with Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett, he has not accrued the notoriety that he has deserved, but he is an outstanding football player. Leading the team again in tackles. He will go over the 100 tackle mark for the 4th consecutive season.
Second down. And we have movement. It may have been Gerald Perry. And it'll be a false start call against the Raiders. It was 2nd and 10. It'll be 2nd and 15.
It's the very thing Archell talked about, Charlie. He said we get things going. He said we have a good drive. We have good things happening. And then we make a mental error or a drop pass or something to get us going backwards. And you can sense the frustration. Archell's really a laid-back individual, an old teammate of mine, but you can see that he's disappointed in the fact that these guys should be mentally stronger. You're getting paid thousands of dollars to do this. Don't jump off that. Come on.
2nd down and 15. He's got flags again. Hostetler, a wobbly pass far side. Tim Brown, the intended receiver, it is incomplete. James Williams was there.
Now, just as we talk about them, it's going to be, they'll get their 5 yards back. You see the offsides. Tim Brown on the short corner route, cuts back to the outside. Williams comes on the break just at the last minute, is able to strip the ball away from Brown. Good play by Williams, but doesn't matter.
And it was Cornelius Bennett who got the early jump. And so with back-to-back 5-yard penalties, the ball goes back to the 39-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 10 for the 2nd time in this drive.
Again, not to harp on the discipline, but it's 2nd and 15. What's your hurry to rush? What's your hurry? We got 15 yards to go. No reason to jump outside.
Hostetler to throw, 3-man rush. Game is on. There's pressure. Drop down. Jeff White and Cornelius Bennett team up on the sack. And that is the first sack today.
And again, the protection is not that bad. Take a look. They decide to single up Bruce Smith. Gerald Perry does an excellent job. Wright comes back to the outside off of Mosbar, has his leg trap, and fortunately for Hostetler, his right foot came up, because if that would have been planted when Cornelius Bennett hit him, he would have been out.
3rd down and 16. The pass is shot at the 45-yard line by Tim Brown. He takes the circle route and he picks up the first down.
Great effort by Tim Brown and a nice job by Hostetler to step up, and a poor job by the Buffalo Bills on 3rd down. Worst in the NFL at 48% giving it up. He's going to run the hook pattern right here underneath. Take a look. He comes back to the ball. Now he needs to get to the midfield stripe. Stumbles. He sees it. Ducks underneath the tackler to avoid the collision and gets the first down. It's a bad job of 3rd down defense by the Buffalo Bills.
And a gain of 18 yards on the play. The line of scrimmage of Buffalo 49, just across the 50. 3:44 in counting. Time remaining first half. Buffalo leads it 7-3. Hostetler down the side. Brown is wide open. He's to the 20. Splits the tackle. 15, 12-yard line. And the Buffalo Bills blew a coverage in the secondary as Tim Brown didn't have a blue shirt within 8 yards.
Well, Tim Brown comes to the outside. It's an out and up. Odoms points to him and says, "You got him." And Williams goes out to the flat, and he didn't. And as a result of looking in the backfield, Brown is able to sneak from behind and make the catch, breaking 2 tackles before Odoms falls on top of him. You're right, Charlie. That was a blown coverage on the part of the Bills.
And a gain of 38 yards for the Raiders. They spotted at the 13 of Buffalo. It's a first down. And here is Steve Smith. It is maybe a half a step, and that's all. We'll give him a yard and call it second down and 9. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Not a very happy man on this drive as the Raiders converted on 3rd and 16, picking up 18, and then the long play to Tim Brown on the blown coverage.
Charlie, I wouldn't say that it's crucial that the Los Angeles Raiders get in the end zone, but as our graphic has pointed out, there's been a great deal of frustration where that's concerned getting touchdowns. Only 1 in the last 11 quarters.
Hostetler to throw. Slips away. He's to the 6, the 5. He dives. Touchdown. Hostetler scores from 11 yards away officially. And the first touchdown of the ball game for the Raiders.
And the long quarter of touchdown drought is over, nearly 3 games, and Hostetler's the man that does it. But give credit to his offensive line. Look at the time that he has, and watch how strong Hostetler is. He gets out of the grasp right there of Jeff Wright, cuts to the outside. Good block downfield by Ethan Horton that springs him, and he slides into the end zone. Hostetler, known for his mobility, something that Raider quarterbacks have not had in the past, and there it was certainly beneficial.
Jaeger to attempt the point after, and it is good. And the Raiders are back in front of the Buffalo Bills. The margin is 3. It's Los Angeles 10 and Buffalo 7 with 2:05 left to go in the second quarter.
You know, Hostetler's had kind of a bad rap. It's ironic that the best game he's had of the season, in the game that you and I did when he threw for 424 yards against the San Diego Chargers, they lost. You know, he has more interceptions than touchdowns. He has over 2,000 yards. He's had to sit out some games with some injuries. But he's a gutty performer. And I think he's done a very good job for the Los Angeles Raiders. If you take away some of those drop passes and the fact that the running game up to this point has been ineffective, you know, you could say that this guy had been having an outstanding season.
And when we talked with him yesterday, we asked him about the Cincinnati game and the snow, and he said the snow and the wind and the cold. And he said, I knew we were in trouble when we came out to warm up, and I was looking around, there were a couple of players standing just watching the snow fall. But today, they haven't been standing around watching the wind blow. They've been playing football.
They have.
72 yards on the touchdown drive in 7 plays. And now the Raiders will be kicking off with Don Beebe and Russell Copeland, the deep backs on the return. It is high and short, and it will be Don Beebe at the 9. He's to the 15 and then down around the 19-yard line where Buffalo will go to work. And the 2-minute warning will now be given to both pitchers. Raiders lead by 3. Back in a moment.
Here it's going to come down here and hook up, and then he's going to make the run to midfield, and that's going to enable them to get the first down. And that was the key play of the last drive. Watch as Hostetler was able to set up, drill the ball downfield to him, comes back to the ball, gets across midfield. Buffalo Bills, as we mentioned, worst in the National Football League on preventing third downs. That was the key play of the last drive.
Buffalo now with 1:57. That is the time remaining in the first half. They start from their own 19-yard line. Here's the screen to Thurman Thomas, and he will go out of bounds to stop the clock. Score on the Pittsburgh-New England game. Pittsburgh has scored with 10 seconds to go in the first half and has now moved down in front of New England by a score of 17-14. So as a reminder, be sure to be with us at halftime for the Domino Pizza NFL Live halftime report. And we'll give you more on that information right after this play. as Kelly with an audible, and he is running now from the shotgun with 4 wide receivers in the set. And this one is over the middle to Bill Brooks. And Brooks is close to the first down.
What they're trying to do now, Charlie, is that they're putting Thurman Thomas out at the flank and forcing the Raiders to cover a man-for-man with Mike Jones, who is an excellent cover linebacker, but that could be a mismatch here down the stretch.
And now an official's timeout. The change will come out for the measurement.
I remember talking to Mark Clayton one time, and he told me, he says, with Thurman Thomas, he says, that's like having an extra wide receiver. He can run posts, corners, all sorts of routes. Thurman Thomas, you saw there, leading in all-purpose yardage now for the last 4 years, breaking Jim Brown's record. The great Jim Brown of the Cleveland Browns, and now with Barry Sanders hurt, more than likely, he's headed for a 5th season.
Third down, about a foot to go. The Bills on third down, 0 for 4. Pass is complete. This is their first third down conversion of the ball game. They will mark it at the 35-yard line. As Dan Land wrestles Russell Copeland to the ground.
Surprised they didn't use their timeout there because it took so long. Inevitably, when you hold the guy up and push him around, that costs some seconds, and that happened at about 1:25. Now the clock is down to 1:06 and running.
Kelly goes deep. A flag is down. Has a receiver behind the secondary. Don Beebe. If it holds up, there was a flag. The Coppers at the 25-yard line.
Illegal contact. Number 99 defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
A 65-yard touchdown pass to Don Beebe, the fastest receiver of the Buffalo Bills.
One of the problems of the no-huddle that they've had this year, they said, is that they have not had the deep speed to stretch it. Don Beebe is their fastest receiver, a 4.38 40 guy. But the thing is he has not been able to stay healthy. They isolate him on Dan Land, normally not one of their starting cornerbacks, and they come up a winner.
Steve Christie to attempt the extra point. Out of the hold of Frank Reich, and it is good.
It's good.
And the Buffalo Bills have now moved on top of the Los Angeles Raiders by a score of 14-10. We still have 58 seconds left in the first half.
Dan Land, the man who is in coverage, clearly is not very happy about what transpired here, but it's simply an up route. Don Beebe just takes him downtown, and Kelly airs it out. Look at him right there on the streak. Land lays out, but it's too late. Terrific throw by Kelly, and Beebe in for the 65-yard touchdown. Look at how close the hand is. Yeah, it is a game of inches, but what a throw by Kelly.
81 yards on that touchdown drive in 4 plays. We'll be back with the kickoff. And to the 7-yard line, here's Ismail. He's to the 20, the 25, and then spun down at the 25-yard line. Monty Brown, the free agent from Ferris State, makes the tackle.
Looked to me like Dan Land thought that he had some inside help. Right here at the bottom is Beebe. Watch Land will funnel him to the inside, and then look at the quarterback. Beebe is just going to run past him, and the safety help here never comes. Here comes Beebe, and there's no safety help. He just airs it out. Safety is standing right there, sitting on the hook route, and as a result, Land does not get there in time.
Kelly has completed 9 of 15, 167 yards, and the touchdown. Raiders now from their own 25-yard line with 52 seconds left, and they go to the draw. Here's Nick Bell. He rambles out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
The ball carrier.
Interesting, a meeting of different generations of former quarterbacks. Fascinating.
Second down and 4. And Nick Bell gets the call again. Are you surprised by this?
How am I surprised? Isn't this the team with the 4x100-meter relay team of wide receivers?
Fastest wide receivers in the National Football League.
Isn't this the team with all the speedsters, all the breakaway threats, all the big play people, and they're running out the clock?
And the team that has always gone vertical?
46 seconds remaining. I mean, how far do you have to get? Jager with 50-yard range. You look if they start at the 25-yard line, 25, 35, maybe 40 yards here. And they're content to run it out. Away from home, I don't like this at all.
And they sit in the huddle and let the clock just run down.
No. I don't like it.
And so the Raiders settle for the score of 14-10, and the Raiders trail. It's halftime. The Buffalo Bills 14, the Los Angeles Raiders 10, here at a very cold, rich stadium. And the Raiders will have the first opportunity of the second half. And Ismael will down it in the end zone, so they will start from the 20-yard line.
You know what? This could have been the reason.
Flag back over at the 28-yard line.
Charlie, this could have been the reason, knowing that they were going to receive to start the second half, why they didn't do something there at the end of the first half. But there are two subtle messages that you give your team by not going for the field goal there at the end of the first half with nearly a minute left. One is that you're in effect telling your guys, hey, you know, we can't do it. We're afraid of a turnover. And the other thing is that gives the Buffalo defense confidence, knowing that they can say, hey, we can stop them in a 2-minute situation.
Touchback.
No foul on the play.
First down.
The ball's at the 20-yard line, first down.
I really thought that Art was going to give that a shot. And as we both of us mentioned, they have all the weapons, and Hostetler's playing well, and they're protecting their quarterback. Why not give it a shot?
Holding was called on.
But I think you're right. Rather than risk a turnover at that point, knowing they were going to receive the kickoff, you go ahead and take it here. Let's see what they come out with.
Well, once again, you know, there's some subtle suggestions you give to both your side and that side by not going for it.
All right, we open the second half. The wind chill factor is 18 here at Rich Stadium. And here's Greg Robinson around the left side. He turns the corner. A scramble for the football. They're going to mark the play down at the 24-yard line. As you know, the ground cannot cause a fumble, nor can artificial surface.
Points by half by the Raiders. The second half has not been terribly good for them. You can see that first half they outscore their opponents by nearly 50. In the second half, it's been the reverse. They have struggled in the second half, particularly in the third quarter. They've only scored 20 points in the third quarter all season.
And another player is down. Is it Greg Robinson who is down again? He was injured in the first half, had an injured right ankle, then came back into the ball game. 57 yards rushing on 9 carries.
Just back to the inside. They're off his right. Oh, they're right there. He never even gets hit. Right there. And you say the ground can't cause a fumble, but he wasn't technically down there, Charlie. He wasn't down. And so when the helmet hit the ball, they could have conceivably called that a fumble and been right. You can see the right leg just gave out there. I broke a bone in my foot in Philadelphia, Charlie, a similar way. It's like the athlete just reached up and grabbed me. Nobody
It's like Velcro.
Yeah.
He grabs the hole.
Hopefully he'll be okay.
Second down and 6. Hostetler dumps it off over the middle to Tim Brown. And Brown out close to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up the first down. Marcus Patton with the tackle.
Tim Brown now over 100 yards in receiving already. He gets lost underneath on the crossing pattern. They go into a zone. Look at how deep the linebackers backpedal. Tim Brown catches the ball. And look at the gap. There's about a 10-yard gap between himself and Patton. Makes a little 360 move and gets the additional yardage.
He picks up 16. Round 5 receptions, 106 yards. And a first down at the Raider 39-yard line. And here is Nick Bell with just a straight shot up the middle.
I tell you what, he really moved that pile.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? He takes everybody with him. He says, come on, we're going to the 45, join me. He picks up 6. It'll be second down and 4. Jeff Wright, Marcus Patton, and Phil Hansen finally weigh him down at the 45.
See the frustration on his face, not simply because of the pain in his knee, but the fact that he was having such a good game.
Hostetler with an audible at the line of scrimmage. Smith leads the way as the blocker, and Nick Bell is the ball carrier, and Darryl Talley makes the tackle. When we talked with Darryl Talley yesterday, he said something, you know, I thought was very good. He said, remember, this is a game that is played by men, but we act like we're boys on Sunday afternoon.
Well, it's like the old Roy Campanella line. Got to have a lot of little boy in you to play.
You got to have a lot of big boys playing this ball.
Yeah, right. That too.
First down to the 50-yard line. Hostetler to throw on first down. Has the pressure. He goes deep, and it is incomplete. James Jett, the intended receiver. And it'll be second down.
Nate Odums again in on the coverage. Good job by number 37, forcing him to throw that ball outside. He knew he had inside help from the safety. Forces Jett to the inside, and Hostetler saw there was no way to throw it.
Interesting, when we talked with Jett yesterday, and Art Shell walked in the room and said, oops, up, and he was out of there. And your comment was, well, that was a rookie move, because if it had been a veteran, he'd have said, we'll get you to a minute, Art. Just wait in the hall.
That's right. See Freddie Bolitnikoff, the Hall of Fame, this former receiver for the Raiders, now the receiver coach, screaming at Jett. Evidently, he was in a place he shouldn't have been.
And Steve Smith is the ball carrier. And Robinson is being driven off of the field. We do not have any additional report on his condition. Of course, there's x-ray equipment here, and as soon as we have that information, we'll pass it on to. Now we're being told it is a knee injury, and more likely that he will not return.
Too bad, too. 8th-round pick from Northeast Louisiana, had a tremendous preseason, installed as a rookie running back, which is a rarity for the Raiders. Last time that happened was a fellow by the name of Marcus Allen back in 1982, and he was on pace to break his rookie record for rushing in a season.
Third down and 8, 3 wide receivers underneath the coverage. Guess who? Tim Brown. He is having an excellent afternoon. He slid as he made his cut at the 29-yard line. Kurt Schultz was there to cover him.
In fairness here to Jamie Williams, he's just having to cover him all over the field and just too long. There's no pass rush here. And look at the throw right on the mark. Williams within a step of him, but Hostetler puts it right on his hands. You say he slips to avoid the collision, but Brown is having himself an outstanding day.
And a gain of 19 yards on the play. And the line of scrimmage, the 29-yard line of Buffalo. Buffalo leads by 4, 14-10. 10 minutes, 40 seconds, time remaining. We're in the third quarter. Hostetler, good protection, goes to the far side. This is to Nick Bell. And now with the protection that Hostetler is getting, he can just pick and choose the receiver that he wants to go to. A gain of 12 yards on the play. Darryl Talley making the stop.
Too many people are looking in the backfield. You can see on both sides of the ball, the secondary people are looking into the backfield. That's enabling the quarterbacks to get some big plays. Nick Bell shouldn't have been that wide open off to the side, but Darryl Talley was looking at Hostetler, and that enabled him to get him the ball.
And a first down at the 18-yard line. Back-to-back first downs for the Raiders. And here is Bell, slips a couple of tackles, and finally is stopped at around the 13-yard line by Cornelius Bennett and Marcus Patton. And it will be second down.
Well, I hate to say that you were prescient, Charlie, but the point that you made regarding the Raiders has turned out to be correct. Here's a situation where they decided at the end of the first half not to do anything about it, and they've come out here and done exactly what they wanted to do. 5.5 minutes in counting on this particular drive, really doing a great job of taking the crowd out of the game.
And it is second down and 5 at the 13-yard line. And they started this drive back at their own 20. And here is Bell, shut off inside, tries to get outside, but Bruce Smith was waiting for him.
Bruce Smith with the tackle.
After the initial triple teams, we didn't hear much from Bruce Smith in the first half, but here, coming to the left of your screen, he's able to beat the one-on-one block of Gerald Perry, just shucks him to the side, gets off the play, and tackles. Excuse me. Brings down Bell, and now third down. Third downs have not been good to the Buffalo Bills thus far.
Third and 7. Hostetler is sacked. Phil Hansen and Jeff Wright bring him down, and Wright starts the celebration.
And Jeff Wright.
Well, clearly this drive didn't end the way the Raiders wanted to, but they've taken a lot of time off the clock. Hostetler steps up. It breaks down. Both Wright and Hansen in on the sack. But the Raiders have to be happy with the way they're running the ball, and clearly by the end of the game they're going to have those 30 carries that Art Shell talked about.
34-yard field goal attempt by Jager, and it goes back to the right. Started to the left as if he was going to hook it. Then it straightened up and came back to the right, and the Raiders pull within one. We'll be back with a kickoff. With that touchdown drive of 6 minutes and 46 seconds, that was the time. The total time of possession now is almost 3-1. The Raiders have had the ball 27 minutes, and the Bills have had it only 9.5 minutes. And here is Russell Copeland on the return. And he is going to get only to the 17-yard line. Kelly throws over the middle, passes complete to Beebe. Beebe is out to the 40, and then he is down about the 43-yard line.
Similar situation before. He just jogs. He cuts underneath. Torin Dorn says, somebody else take him, somebody else take him. Nobody else took him. And if he doesn't get past, if he's able to get past Lionel Washington, there's a lot more yards here. We've had a lot of blown coverages here on both sides of the ball.
And a gain of 24 yards on the play, and a first down at the Buffalo 43. Here's Thurman Thomas. Thomas tonight, inside-out move. Now he stops. He cuts downfield. He is absolutely a joy to watch. Torin Dorn finally stops him.
Able to pick his spots. That's when you have quick feet and big bodies in front of you. He picks his spots, cuts in, cuts out. Torin Dorn cuts up. Even here at the end, he buries himself. He doesn't give you much to hit. And with those quick feet, that's why the man has led in yards from scrimmage over the last 4 seasons.
Time of possession, we noted 3-1 favor of the Raiders. But once at the Buffalo Bills, the first couple of times they had the ball, if you were with us in the first quarter, they were using the huddle. They were like walking through molasses. They went to their K-gun, their no huddle. Since then, they don't need a lot of time. Zap, zap, boom, they're in the end zone.
Well, as I say, you know, they have the skins on the wall. 3 straight Super Bowls. They got to be doing something right.
Second down and 6, 38-yard line, following that gain of 4. A fumble on the exchange, and then Jim Kelly recovers it. Now, you might notice Kelly, as he was making the signal to the wide receivers, when they have that set with 3 wide receivers, he is calling the plays. They're not coming from the sideline. If you have 2 running backs in, then the plays are coming in from the sideline. But that particular set, he's calling the plays. Now they just step back in the huddle. Then he'll use it if he wants to change it or do a false change at the line of scrimmage.
And that really was a big loss there because they were coming up and they had 2nd and 5, and Thurman had a pretty good hold there, more than likely in for the first. Now 3rd and 9, tougher situation.
And they've converted only 1 third down opportunity out of 5. Flag is down. They have the first down here if the play stands up. 19-yard line is the rookie Russell Copeland, but don't forget there was a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Here at the left defensive end, I believe that was Greg Townsend jumped off sides. They'll let that go.
A gain of 22 yards on the play.
Number 56, defense. Penalty is declined.
Andre Bruce, the play stand.
Andre Bruce, former first-round pick in the NFL draft in 1987 by the Atlanta Falcons, comes in periodically to rush the passer. A little too anxious there.
And a first down at the 19-yard line. And here's Thurman Thomas. Absolutely nothing there, and still he scoots to the right, and he's going to pick up about 1.5 yards when there wasn't an opening at all. I'll give credit to Torin Dorn. He had an assist on the tackle. And mark it at the 18-yard line. 5.5 minutes. That is the time remaining. We're in the 3rd quarter, and the Bills lead by 1, 14-13. Kelly to throw. as pressure from the backside goes to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Russell Copeland trying to reach out and pull it in with one hand, and Chester McLaughlin was right on the shoulders of Jim Kelly.
Inside, it's the old post corner move. Comes, looks like he's going to the post. Cuts back to the outside. That's where the safety help is. Throw, just as you say, a little bit long. Kelly tries to aim it in there, but just a little bit too far.
Kelly now 12 of 19, 218 yards in the touchdown. The Bills have scored twice. The Raiders with a touchdown and a pair of field goals. Kelly may run out of time. Gets it off with 1 second on the play clock. Comes to the sideline. The pass is caught. He's not going to pick up any yardage at all. And so Steve Christie will come in with a field goal attempt. Christie has hit 13 of 18. And look at that long one, 59 yards. That was in this stadium against Miami. This will be from the 26, an attempt of 36 yards. It is up, and it is good. And the Buffalo Bills have stretched their margin. They now lead 17-13. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment. Well, I can tell you, at least today, the fans, they are involved with this ball club. They truly are the 12th man. They're a very smart group of fans as far as the cheering and trying to take the opposing team out of certain situations. And they're certainly involved today.
I think people have to remember, too, it was Buffalo that 2 years ago set the record for attendance, averaging over 80,000 for all of their home days.
Rocket Ismail on the return. He's to the 20, the 25, the 30, the 40. Little fake, he's to the 50, and then finally pulled down in Buffalo territory. Steve Christie, the man who kicked off, he is the man who got him. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Take a look at the blocks here that he finds the gap. Mickey Washington comes to the right, but he's just too fast. Many people have talked about the fact that unlike some of the receivers in the past for the Raiders who are strictly track men, Ismail is a football player first. You see the reason here why he has led the AFC in kickoff returns coming into this game at nearly 27 yards a return. Sets up the Raiders in outstanding field position on the Bills' 47.
And Steve Christie with a good tackle, just hanging on. Raiders try to cash in immediately, going deep. It is incomplete inside the 5. James Jett, the intended receiver, and James Williams had the coverage. So we'll bring the ball back to the 47-yard line.
The right hand is going to come across his face. I think Hostetler wants this back. He just flat out runs past him. Williams isn't with him. Keep it on the inside shoulder, but instead it fades to the outside, and that enables Williams to come in right there at the last minute, get his hand in the way. And Hostetler not terribly happy about that. Oh, it's the wrong shoulder. Doggone it.
Hostetler now 12 of 21 for 203 yards. And it is second down and 10 at the Buffalo 47. And here's Nick Bell. We talked about time of possession. The Raiders has opened the second half. The drive to their field goal consumed 6 minutes and 46 seconds. Well, the Bills came back, and they had a field goal. Their time was 3 minutes quicker, 3:46 on their drive.
Part of the reason for that is their inability to stop people on third down. Opponents have converted 47% worst in the NFL, and today in particular, the Raiders' ability to keep converting on third down, particularly at the end of the first half on that 3rd and 16, has been a problem for Buffalo.
This is another tough one, 3rd down and 8. Hostetler goes deep. A flag is down. The receiver had to wait for it. He was underthrown. And that was James Jett. Mickey Washington with the coverage, and there's a flag back at the 50-yard line.
Ball start before the snap.
No play.
Number 76 offense. At the 5-yard penalty, there is no play. The foul was prior to the snap. No play. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, that's good and bad news for the Raiders. The bad news, of course, is it comes up 3rd and 13. The good news is that they get the play over, and as we mentioned, they did convert a 3rd and 16 earlier. And it's a graphic we've just shown. Buffalo has certainly struggled there. You notice there, instead of going to their standard defense, Buffalo came with the blitz man for man. Very dangerous here because of the speed of the Raider receivers, but they're trying to shake it up, trying to do something.
And also, as you notice in the graphic, not a lot of penalties in the ballgame. It has been well played. Buffalo leads it 17-13. Just under 3.5 left to go in the third. Third down and 13. Hostetler's in trouble. He scrambles out. He's going to run for it. And he slides, and he may have gone down too soon. A flag over at the 44-yard line on the far side.
Charlie, when it's downfield, it usually means defensive hold. I see Jamie Williams trying to point out, no, that's where he started his slide. But here's a difficult decision for the referees to make. Is he sliding to protect himself like he usually does, or in that case, did he just slip? I think there he just slipped.
No, on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
That's an automatic.
From the end of the run.
Force from the end of the run, and that
automatic
will
first down.
carry the first down.
And once again, Buffalo's inability to hold them on third down proves to be a real problem. Here's the end of the play. And let's see what it is if he actually is doing his slide or if he's trying to get the first down. Once again, tremendous protection. He avoids Bennett. Now watch at the end of the play. What is he trying to slide or protect? Is he trying to get it? Look at him going headlong. He's diving for it. There, he slips. He actually slips there. And so where they mark the ball ahead, well, of course, in this case, it's inconsequential. But that's a difficult thing a lot of times for the officials to decide. Is the guy actually going for it, or is he protecting himself?
Defense, 5 yards.
The penalty was on Nate Odom.
I mention that because where they start the slide, for those who are the uninitiated, that's where the ball is started. So if indeed in that case he was just trying to protect himself, the ball should have been about 2 yards back. But
because the reason is the slide is to protect the quarterback.
But that's not what he was doing there.
So with the slide and the penalty, the ball goes sliding to the 32-yard line of Buffalo, and it's a first down for the Raiders. Hostetler again, lots of time, looks left, looks right, comes back, completes the pass left, and that is to Tim Brown. And he almost had the first down, then he may have given up a half a step. Matt Darby was on top of him.
Looks like he might have got poked in the eye. Once again, a huge day for Tim Brown.
Yep. That is his 7th reception, 135 yards for Tim.
Once again, look at all the time he has to look at his first, second, third, fourth. There it is right there. You can see the left hand of Darby gets in his eye. Accidental play, got poked. Hopefully it'll be okay. 7-to-1 ratio.
And maybe incredible. Even a better basketball player than a quarterback. Little play action fake on second and short. Hostetler is going to scramble for the first time. This time he's sliding to protect himself. He knew that he had it. Cornelius Bennett had a fistful of jerseys.
His running has been so effective today. Remember last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, the only touchdown that the Raiders had was on the quarterback draw, and the only touchdown they have today is on the 11-yard run by Hostetler in the first half.
Remember the keys for Art Shell? He had 4 keys to defeat the Buffalo Bills, and one of the keys, 30 or more rushing attempts. That was the 30th rush of the ball game. There they are, run the ball 30 times, scored 20 points or more, attack in the red zone. That's from the 20-yard line in. Triple team Bruce Smith. So now they need to go for points 2 and 3. Raiders with 13 points. And Hostetler is sacked. Cornelius Bennett. He has certainly been a force in this ballgame.
You mentioned earlier, Charlie, how there have been some criticism where he was concerned. And this isn't good news. I believe that's Gerald Perry, the left tackle, who was down, who up to this point has been doing a pretty good job on Bruce Smith. Takes the inside rush on Wilkerson, just comes right over the top of him for the sack. There you see at the end, you saw the left leg buckle by Gerald Perry. There's the conversation that they had before when they were running. I guess it seemed like it was a pleasant enough one. But Bennett came back and said, guess what? I'm in your face again.
We have a timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Take a look at the left leg. Gerald Perry doing the job on Bruce Smith. Bruce Wilkerson not only misses his man, but then he jams into the back of Gerald Perry with his left leg planted. no way he could know what was going to happen there. And that's disconsolate. Gee, that's tough.
That is the third team sack by the Buffalo Bills. That is the second by Cornelius Bennett.
Gerald Perry has done an excellent job for the Los Angeles Raiders at the left tackle spot, originally with the Denver Broncos, and last year with the Los Angeles Rams, signed as a free agent to do exactly what it is he is doing, dealing with people, dealing with the great speed rushers there in the AFC West, people like Leslie O'Neal and Derek Thomas, and today one of the greats, Bruce Smith.
Now, Rich Stevens will replace him. Will they have to give him additional help? Will they have to give Rich more help?
How much more help can they give than they've been doing up to this point?
Well, put 4 on him rather than 3.
Look for the tight end Ethan Horton to stay in a lot.
Second down and 17. Over the middle, pass is complete. Guess who? Tim Brown.
Hostetler's pass complete to Tim Brown.
It has been a Tim Brown afternoon for the Raiders.
You can see a little bit of swelling there in the right eye. He just settles down, called a squat route. He comes from the cross and then sits down right in the middle of the zone. Hostetler finds him, and again, the zones of Buffalo Bills, too many gaps in them, and here we are again, third down.
And his 8th reception, and Tim Brown 145 yards. A comparison, BB 106 yards and the touchdown. They have been the 2 most efficient receivers in the ballgame. Third down and 5, 8-yard line. Pressure from the backside. Pressure is overrun. This is thrown. Touchdown, knocked away.
Wow.
Oh, all alone, wide open. Hostetler just trying to shot put it as he was hit into the end zone to James Jett, and he was nailed immediately by Matt Darby and Nate Odom.
You know what I like about this, Charlie? 2 great plays on the same play. Look at Hostetler avoid the rush. Smith almost gets him. Cuts up. He's going to be sacked here. Look, right on top of him. He gets the ball away. Jett has a sure touchdown, right? Wrong. Look at Nate Odom's come in and knock the ball away. 2 great plays. First by Hostetler and then by Odoms. Wow.
15-yard line field goal attempt at 25 yards. It is good. And Jeff Jager has hit his 3rd field goal of the afternoon from 37, 34, and now 25 yards away. And once again, the Raiders pull within 1 of the Buffalo Bills.
Hostetler cuts up the middle. Watch what happens here as he's able to escape the rush. He comes up here. He's going to be sacked. He just throws it up in the air. Jett, sure touchdown. And Odoms comes off of his man to come over and make the play. That's an all-pro play by Nate Odoms, who I would guess is probably going to be on a lot of all-pro teams this year.
And also an all-pro play by Hostetler because he saw him just out of the corner of his eye and just kind of pushed it over there and almost pulled it off. Look at us at 10 hurries, 2 knockdowns, 3 sacks, 2 deflections.
I tell you what, he's earned his stripes today.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 22 seconds left to go in the 3rd. And the Bills lead by 1, 17-16, as Jager kicks off. And this will go through the end zone for the touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
From their 20.
Time of possession, look at that. The Raiders now more than 31 minutes, and the Buffalo Bills less than 13 and a half. But as we mentioned on the last drive, doesn't take Buffalo that long to at least get into field goal position. Buffalo with an 8-3 record, trailing Miami coming into the ballgame. Miami playing the Giants later on this afternoon. And the Raiders, their record is 6-5, and they're trying to hang on for the possibility of a wild card spot. Passes over the middle, and it is complete. Pete Metzelar is the tight end. Winston Moss with the tackle. A gain of 8 yards on the play, and that should take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. After 3 with 1 remaining, the Bills lead at 17-16. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. This is Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen. Buffalo with a 1-point advantage over the Raiders, and they have the football. Second down and 2 at the 28. And Thurman Thomas he should pick up the first down. Now, at the top of the telecast, we talked about the teams in contention. Miami, Buffalo, Kansas City as you look down. Miami plays later. Buffalo in this ball game. Kansas City, Denver playing later. Houston right now is losing. The Jets are tied. Pittsburgh, they're having a battle from New England. And the Raiders, they're really scrambling. They've got to get this ball game to stay in contention for the possibility of a wild card spot. First down at the 30-yard line. Kelly just kind of steps aside, pump fakes, and then he runs out of time. He's going to scramble forward to the 31 or the 32-yard line, and Tippers are starting to flare just a bit. This has become a heated rivalry between the Bills and the Raiders, two very physical ball clubs. And we've had a chance to point out the rivalry that has taken place through the flashbacks. They haven't met all that many times over the years. But in regular season, they have met 28 times. 14 and 14. They're that even. And the double reverse to Bill Brooks. Brooks around the corner. Brooks to the 40. Has the first down. Out to the 47-yard line. Eddie Anderson finally brought him down. A gain of 15 on the play, the first down.
Good call here, shaking it up, and looks like a typical sweep to Thomas. Gets it back to Brooks. Take a look at the block there by Ken Hull on Anthony Smith. Just lays him out. Brooks cuts up the field for the big first down. Good call there by whether it was Schaffner, Bresnahan, or Kelly. Good job.
And here is Thurman Thomas to the 50-yard line. He picks up 3, and it will be second down and 7 as Chester McLaughlin makes the stop.
I mentioned that triumvirate because of the fact that there's such argument. We documented that fairly well at the top of the show over the fact that which one is actually calling the plays and which one should. So I wanted to give credit where credit was due, and I didn't know, so I guess.
Well, Jim Kelly, if it's successful, he'll say I did it. This pass is complete to Bill Brooks, and he is dropped immediately as Joe Kelly, no relation to Jim, makes the tackle.
Safe play over the middle. Gets the ball to Brooks, but he pays the price. Joe Kelly, who's been playing some excellent middle linebacker for the Raiders, their top tackler, puts him right in his tracks.
Third down and 2 with the 3 wide receivers set and 1 running back. That means that Jim Kelly is calling the play. 3-step drop. Pass is complete. First down. John Beebe backs out of bounds. No, they said he didn't get out of it. So the clock continues to move.
A 10-yard gain.
But he has the first down. Doran was there.
Crowd
to wrap him up immediately.
Take a look at the end of the play. This is what the crowd's excited about, whether or not he got hit out of bounds. He turned Doran around. Actually, a pretty good catch right there. He holds him up. Wasn't that much of a hit. Nah. Come on. Don't be begging for that. It's a collision game. Relax.
35-yard line, first down. Buffalo 17, Raiders 16. Going deep, has a man. It is incomplete, flag down. There was pushing. Beebe, the intended receiver. Doran is going to be called for pushing.
You know what looks bad on that play, Charlie, at the end? Beebe turns to the official and begs for the flag and gets it at the exact same time that he begged for it. Amazing.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone. Number 46, first down on the 1-yard line.
Lionel Washington comes over to the side of the field to complain about it, and his complaint is the fact that Beebe complained with the exact same. Now this is ironic. Doran, who's the one that they called it on, is the one that gets Lionel Washington away. Watch at the end of the play. Now watch whether or not it's interference. His left hand is on him. Now watch Beebe look at the official. He goes, hey, what? Hey, throw the flag. And right when he does that, that's when the flag is thrown. Take a look at the end of the play. There's the left. Okay, he pins the left arm, comes over with the right. That's a good call by the official, even though he should have called it. But I know what Washington's beef is. It's like, hey, don't let them call the play. You're the guy in charge.
So with the penalty, the ball spotted at the 1-yard line, and it's first down and goal to go. Thurman Thomas races to the corner, steps in with a touchdown. Conserving his energy. And so the Bills with a 20-yard touchdown drive, capped by Thurman Thomas as he scores from a yard out, his second touchdown of the ballgame.
Good block by reserve tight end Ron Awalt right there at the end. He gets down on Joe Kelly's leg, and that enables Thomas to go in untouched for his second touchdown of the day.
And here is the extra point, and it is good. Buffalo leads it 24-16. As we come back, Steve Christie is ready to kick off for the Buffalo Bills with Willie Gault and Rocket Ismail, the return man.
Are they going to kick it to Ismail or kick it?
Ismail, number 86, from the 5-yard line to the 20. And he returns near the 25-yard line. And now we've got some extracurricular buffing and hooking up and a little pushing and shoving contest going on.
Key play of the last drive for the Buffalo Bills clearly was that interference call on Torin Dorn. Coming right at you is going to be Don Beebe. Key player, obviously, for the Bills today. 65-yard touchdown, and now a big play. Kelly puts it right on the money, but watch his left arm is pinned by Dorn right there. He can't pick up the left arm. That means he can't catch it. The official makes the call. That was the key play of the last drive for the Buffalo Bills.
And it took the Buffalo Bills only 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go the 80 yards. So time of possession, well, the Bills have had the ball 16 and a half minutes. The Raiders have had it more than 31 minutes. Bills lead 24-16. Raiders now from their own 25. Hostetler goes deep over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
Jimmy Brown, 8 catches now coming in. Cuts across the middle, still in their zone defense. Right there. Thought he was going to come a little bit more on the hook route. Overthrew him.
Hostetler has completed 14 of 25 for 224 yards. But it was interesting what he said when we were talking yesterday about his father-in-law.
Yeah, his father-in-law, head coach at West Virginia, feels as if coaching nowadays he's a babysitter for 18 to 21-year-olds.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd like that.
But let's not forget, those 18 to 21-year-olds babysittees are 11-0.
That's right. Going deep, double coverage, and it is incomplete. James Jett, the intended receiver, with Mark Darby and Nate Odom. The deep coverage for the Buffalo Bills.
And let's not forget that Matt Darby has done an outstanding job replacing Mark Kelso. Mark Kelso, the starting free safety, went out earlier in the game with a concussion. Odoms knows he has inside help. Turns and runs with James Jett. Here comes Darby into the picture right at the last minute, cutting off the path of James Jett. Good coverage there by the Buffalo Bills, who need a third down stop here, something they haven't been able to do up to this point.
And it is third down and 10.
And they're running out of time again, Charlie.
Hostetler is sacked. That is the 4th sack for the Buffalo Bills. Bruce Smith got it.
And notice what they did with Bruce Smith this time, Charlie. They brought him to the other side. Bruce Smith is going to come on the run from the other side. He's going to attack. He gets past Max Montoya and is able to nail Hostetler. He's frustrated there at right defensive end. So what do? They move him inside the tackle, have him go over Montoya, and he gets the sack.
And so Jeff Gossett will be kicking. Russell Copeland is the return man. And he gets it off. Had some pressure. Copeland takes it at the 40 and is dropped immediately. Excellent coverage downfield by Dan Lamb. We'll step aside for a moment. A 44-yard punt.
There's Bruce Smith with his sack. A couple of Smiths here in the Smith sack race. Anthony Smith leading the NFL coming into this game with 12. Bruce Smith now at 10.5. But look at the career numbers for Bruce Smith. A mere child at 30 years of age. He might yet catch up to Reggie White.
Buffalo's ball at their own 40-yard line. It is Thurman Thomas. Justin McLaughlin makes the tackle. Jim Kelly has completed 16 of 23, 240 yards through the air. He's thrown for a touchdown. Don Beebe with 4 receptions, 115 yards, and the touchdown. Kind of a semi-huddle. Second down and 10. Tipped, intercepted. Terry McDaniel has the interception. Inside the 20 and then out of bounds inside the 15. Maybe the 11-yard line.
Intercepted by McDaniel.
36 yards on the interception return as Terry McDaniel matches his uniform number with his 4th interception of the year.
Jim Kelly tries to force that in. Look at the play that McDaniel made, though. He bats it up into the air. If he knocks it down, obviously it's simply an incomplete pass. Great play by McDaniel, not only in making the interception, but batting the ball up in the air, and tremendous run back as well.
They'll spot it at the 11-yard line. First turnover of the ball game.
Rookie James Pratt pretty excited about it. Big turnover for the Raiders.
First down Raiders, and here comes the fans. Hostetler to throw. Pressure from the backside. Scrambles away. Flag is down. He is down. Cornelius Bennett pulls him down, and now more pushing and shoving at the 8-yard line.
Looked to me like Rich Stevens had a hold of Bruce Smith coming around.
Holding number 77, offense.
That's on Rich Stevens, the left tackle, the man who has replaced Gerald Perry. Perry out with the injury.
Here comes Bruce Smith over Rich Stevens, gets a good break, cuts off. Now let's see at the end of the play. There he is, comes after him. He just pushes him down. No. That's a bad call. Bad call on the part of the official, and the side judge is the one that threw it. There you saw the yellow flag come in. It looks to him from that angle like he pulled him down, but in fact he pushed him. Very legal play by Stevens, and I can understand his frustration.
And it'll be first down and 20. Raiders now have been penalized 75 yards. That is the 8th flag that has been accepted.
Been a problem. I was going to say a problem for them this year, Charlie. Most penalized team in the National Football League.
First and 20, 21-yard line. And now we have flags in action prior to the snap.
False start before the snap. 76 offense. 5 yards, first down.
So mental errors now have cost the Raiders 15 yards.
And Art Shell can't believe it. Look at the twitch there, right there. He rocks forward. And the thing that Jeff Wright does, which is smart, is as soon as he rocks, he jumps off. As opposed to, remember earlier in the game, when Anthony Smith saw the rock, he waited a beat, then did it, and they didn't call it.
It's first and 25. Hostetler is sacked. Gets a sack. That is the 5th in the ball game for Buffalo.
Jeff Wright was the one that instigated it coming up the middle. He forced it. Take a look at 91 in the middle. He's going to make the move on Wisniewski with the arm under, then gets Stevens. Watch his left arm right there. He knocks him off balance, and that's when Hansen gets a piece of it and knocks him down as well. Hansen and Wright are going to share that one, I would guess.
Second down and 30. Remember a moment ago, it's first and 10 at the 11, and second and 30 at the 31. Tim Brown in motion. Nick Bell, and there's just a couple of yards for Nick Bell as Keith Goganius and Matt Darby make the tackle.
I would look for the Raiders here to hit Tim Brown on a hook route, and it didn't look like they got it off. Once again, he's been complaining about the 45-second clock. There's 1 second. There's 0. No, he didn't get it off, but he got away with one. Look for them here to look for Tim Brown on the hook route because, as you mentioned here, 3rd and 28 or 29, they want to get in better field goal position because this is a 46-yard kick. Nobody can say after today, as you saw those numbers on Hostetler, that he's not a tough guy.
3rd down and 28. Hostetler scrambles. Throws incomplete. Ethan Horton, the intended receiver. Hostetler was hit. He is down. Bruce Smith is slow to get up. Now Hostetler is being helped up.
The term beleaguered, the word beleaguered comes to mind with regards to Hostetler. Smith comes from the other side. Bruce Smith is over the right tackle now. They shifted him over Wilkerson. Take a look. Here he's going to come from the right side. Once again, beating the double team. Gets past Wilkerson. Gets past Bell. Now cuts to the inside. Relentless pursuit of Hostetler. Take a look at this collision at the end. Ouch. Bang.
47-yard field goal attempt by Jaeger.
Got it.
And it is good. So Jeff Jaeger has now hit 4 of 5 in the ballgame. And it's a 24-19 score back with a kickoff. This is the first turnover points today, and now he will be kicking off for the Raiders with Beebe and Copeland, the deep backs, on the return. And here is Don Beebe from the 10, 15, 20. Brought down around the 23, maybe the 24-yard line.
We mentioned earlier Darryl Talley talking about how physical this game is going to be. Take a look at this in regular speed at the end of this collision between Bruce Smith and Jeff Hostetler. Oh, man. Well, guys, grabs his knee on the play and goes to the sidelines. We don't yet have a report as to how serious that is, but he went off under his own power.
He's kind of stretching it on the sideline. 6 tackles, 1 sack, 3 quarterback pressures. First down, Buffalo at their own 24-yard line. Kelly rolls down, drops the pass off to his tight end, Pete Metzeler. He's going to be close to the first down. May have only 9 yards on the play, so it'll be second down and short as Eddie Anderson made the tackle. They'll mark it for a gain of 9, so it is second down and 1.
Metzeler has really been a key to this offense today. He has some good numbers, making a major contribution.
And here is Thurman Thomas with the first down. 15 yards on the burst and the first down for Buffalo. Bills lead it by 5, 24-19, with 7 minutes and 51 seconds left in the ballgame. And here is Thomas again. Metzeler, by the way, the catch he had a moment ago, his third of the ball game. He has 68 yards receiving. Second down and 9. The Bills now going back to the huddle. They're going to take as much time as they want to off of the clock.
I was going to say the fans are kind of holding their breath with regards to Bruce Smith, wondering what the deal is. But
Thurman Thomas has rushed for 64 yards, 15 carries. Little play action fake. Downfield, incomplete. Also, Copeland, the intended receiver, but Lionel Washington came back on top of him with the coverage. And it'll be third down and 9. We'll take another look.
Nice job. Hook route by Copeland here at the top of your screen. Washington comes back right with him. Take a look right there. Oh, he should have caught that ball. Washington does get in with the arm, but I'm sure Copeland feels like he should have had it. Lionel Washington, 32 years of age, 5 years ago, traded from the then St. Louis Cardinals, along with Terry McDaniel, one of the great tandem of corners in the National Football League.
Kelly drops the ball. It is still loose. It is recovered by Buffalo at the 36-yard line. Thurman Thomas recovers the ball. Kelly just dropped the ball.
That's a big play by Thomas to pay attention to, because what happens there is that absolutely nobody is looking. The offensive linemen, of course, are focused in on their people. Charlie, you're right. He spins the ball in his hands, trying to get the laces to his fingers, and he doesn't get it. And right there, Howie Long kicks it. Now, only white shirts are paying attention, with the exception of Thurman Thomas, because the defensive people are going that way. The offensive linemen are looking upfield. It might have been the biggest play of the day for Thurman Thomas, despite his 2 touchdowns.
And Chris Moore will be kicking on fourth down and 21. Tim Brown is the return man.
Got some room now.
He's to the 30, the 35, to the 40, and across to about the 42-yard line on the return. We have 6 minutes and 8 seconds left in the ball game, and Buffalo leads by 5. First down, Raiders 43-yard line screen right side. Pass is complete to Nick Bell. And Bell has the first down, and he is to the 40-yard line and then out of bounds in Buffalo territory. Darryl Talley and Matt Darby finally stopped him. And that is 250 pounds rambling down the sideline for 18 yards.
Good call. They haven't done it up to this point. Screen pass trying to keep Smith out. Looks like he's running okay. Good block downfield. Good job opening things up. The Raiders. Good first play. Good calling.
And the ball at the Buffalo 39-yard line. 5:48 and counting. Time remaining. Raiders trail by 5. 24-19. The Raiders' record is 6-5. The Bills' record is 8-3. 4 games remaining after this. Pass underneath the coverage is complete to James Jeff. Marcus Patton makes the tackle.
It's almost as if you get the feeling that the Bills are saying, okay, we'll let you score, but it's only going to be a field goal. Jet, once again, on the crossing pattern, the zone's a little bit deep, and Jet able to get 9 yards out of the play.
It's going to be, well, they're going to bring the chains out for the measurement. And while they do, let's just mention the fact that Buffalo has only 1 home game remaining. 4 games left, but only 1 at home. The Raiders have 4 games left, but 3 of the 4 are at home. Buffalo is at Philadelphia, at Miami, the Jets here, and then at Indianapolis. The Raiders, Seattle at home, Tampa Bay at home. The 1 road game remaining after this is at Green Bay. Now, that's the day after Christmas. That could be a tough game. That could be a tough game. Yep. And then they wrap it up on January the 2nd with Denver at home.
So that's how pivotal this game is for them. If they win this game, they go home for 3 or 4, and you have to like their chances. If they don't, 6-6, and they absolutely have to win all 4.
Deep caught, no, yes. Oh, Tim Brown. Unbelievable. What a ball game. What a catch. The picture says it all for the day that Tim Brown has had as Hostetler drilled it between 3 Buffalo Bills. What concentration.
It really was. All the blue shirts are flashing in front of him. He was able to come up with the catch.
9 receptions for Tim Brown, 174 yards, and that touchdown, which puts the Raiders in front by 1 with the extra point to come.
I know for a fact, Charlie, the 174 yards is a career high because you and I broadcast the game before.
Extra point is blocked. The margin remains 1. Nate Odom, who said, I love to play against opponents that have speed because I have speed.
Well, he certainly does.
He flies in here.
Watch him come off right here, completely untouched. He lays out and gets the left hand on it. Great effort there by Nate Odoms. But the big play, here it is. You're going to see Tim Brown come in on the short corner route. They're going to be about 3 blue shirts down here, and you're going to say to yourself, how is he able to get the ball in? Take a look at what happens here. Hostetler gets the ball in on the seam route. Look at what the back turn. Here comes 1 blue shirt. Here comes another. They don't look back for the ball, and Brown is able to come up with the catch. What a throw by Hostetler, right on the money. There's Goganis with the arm up. Look at that right at the last minute. It is a game of inches. Williams just misses batting it down. The zones of the Buffalo Bills today have just been inadequate. Too many gaps in the seams, and Hostetler's been able to take advantage of them, particularly with Tim Brown, who is having an absolute career day.
4 minutes and 58 seconds left. That is the time remaining. And the Raiders lead by 1, 25-24, as Nate Odom blocked the extra point attempt. And Jeff Jager will be kicking off either to Don Beebe or to Russell Copeland. High and very short. Taken at the 12 by Beebe to the 20, and then kind of leans forward to the 24-yard line.
Thursday night on Wings.
On Wings on NBC, yes.
Good friend of ours, Al Locasal.
Of the Raiders?
Of the Raiders. His son, Nicholas, is going to have his network premiere debut there on Wings.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
Good for him. Good luck to you, Nicholas.
Kelly drops it over the middle to Metzeler. He's going to pick up about 9 yards on the play. Mike Jones makes the tackle. Now, you remember the last time that Buffalo had the ball, they were using a little bit of a huddle and they were running some time off of the clock. Now they're back into their standard no-huddle offense. They have much better rhythm in this offense than they do in any other offense. Here's Thurman out to the 40-yard line. He picks up 6 in the first down. Anthony Smith and Greg Townsend on the tackle.
Well, certainly like the flashbacks that we've given you, this is another tremendous game between the Raiders and the Bills. Exciting stuff. Reminds me a little bit of 2 years ago when they went to that overtime game, but because of the goofy way the score is with 25-24, we won't see that. Pressure now on Kelly and the Bills to get it down the field.
Thurman, and the Raiders are waiting for him this time. He's going to pick up a yard. That's going to be it. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and the clock continues to move. 3:41 in counting time remaining in the ballgame. Buffalo led at halftime 14-10. Kelly to throw. Down the sideline pass is complete. No, ball popped through. Bill Brooks, it was right in his hands, and he was hit by Darrell Hoskins, and the ball came out.
Frustration for Kelly. He puts the ball right there. There it is, right in his chest. And you're right, Hoskins comes in, hits him in the back, and separates him from the ball. Big hit by Hoskins, and I'm sure Brooks wants that one back.
And a crucial 3rd down play. 3rd down and 9 for Buffalo. And a mistake by the Raiders. 3 plays. Pass is complete for the first down. They'll take the play.
Kelly's pass complete to Bill Brooks.
Bill Brooks pulls it in. Raiders were offside.
15-yard gain.
Art Shell can't believe it. Art Shell just can't believe it. How does this keep happening, he says. How many times does that happen?
Offside, defensive end, penalties decline, first down.
3rd down and 9. One of the things that happens when you have that with an offside, you'll take a look at, is everybody else gets just a half a step out of sync as far as the defense is concerned. Now they're trying to recover. The play's made. They've got the first down. They pick up 14.
But it's the veteran quarterback that knows how to draw people off sides, and that's exactly what he did with the extra bark.
And the first down pass to Bill Brooks. He is pulled down by Terry McDaniel.
5-yard gain.
And we're moving on the 3-minute mark. Time remaining in the ballgame. Buffalo trailing by 1. The ball at the Los Angeles 41-yard line. 2nd and 5. Ball pops loose. It is scooped up by the Raiders. Eddie Anderson has it. That is the 2nd turnover of the ballgame. Terry McDaniel with the interception for the Raiders. Now Eddie Anderson with the fumble recovery. And we have 2:49 left in the ball game. The Raiders have a 1-point lead over Buffalo, 25-24.
They're lucky just to get the handoff out. Take a look at that. He barely gets the ball in, and that's a great play by Nolan Harrison, who strips the ball away from Thurman Thomas. Eddie Anderson on the spot.
So the Raiders with the ball at their own 38-yard line, first down. Needing to protect a 1-point lead. And now the fans on their feet here at Rich Stadium. And the Raiders will try to take a little time off the clock. Nick Bell, the ball carrier, and Buffalo stops the clock with 2:44 remaining. Now they're going to use their timeouts prior to the 2-minute mark to try and allow them as much time as possible on the other side for their offense. They figure that offensively they can control the clock, not defensively.
Well, particularly now that they're in their no-huddle mode, that shouldn't be an issue. But the crucial thing here, never mind the timeouts, is stopping the Raiders here, not allowing them a first down.
Is this a final? This is a final. Indianapolis defeating the Jets. Colts 9, the Jets 6.
Wow, that's quite an upset.
Yes. And Houston now out in front of Atlanta by a score of 30-14. And we're glad that you could join us on this very cold Sunday afternoon. And a lot of good football still remaining, waiting you on the West Coast. Hostetler with pressure, throws back, and it is incomplete. Tim Brown is going to get the call. James Williams will be called for pass interference on Tim Brown. And a Buffalo Bill player is down at the 32-yard line.
Pass interference, number 29, defense. Automatic first down.
Jeff Wright is the player down. It will be an automatic first down for the Raiders. And we'll look at the pass interference call.
Naturally, you knew he was going to go to Tim Brown on the hook route. Williams right with him, but right there, he's got the right hand, comes in with the left. That's close. That is close.
72 yards rushing, the fumble that you were talking about, and that, of course, can make you the go-to the ball game. First down, 48-yard line. Here's Nick Bell. And he's got a couple of yards to the 50. And now Buffalo will take their second timeout, and that stops the clock with 2:33 left. Now for an update, let's join Jim in New York.
And here's what just happened at Giant Stadium, Charlie. Dean Biasucci's third field goal of the day. From 38 yards out with 1 second on the clock gives Indianapolis its fifth consecutive victory over the Jets in the Meadowlands, halts the New York win streak, and salvages a win for the Colts. Now let's go back to Charlie and Todd.
And so the Jets record now goes to 7-5. They are one of the teams in contention for a wild card, and I've got another final that is in. Pittsburgh barely beats New England 17-14.
You know, it just goes to show how unpredictable the NFL is.
Yeah.
Monday night, Indianapolis at home against San Diego gets absolutely hammered. 31-0. The Jets, as was mentioned, big win streak there at home, everything going their way. Go figure.
And San Diego now returns home in the second half of the doubleheader, hosting Denver. And San Diego has not been able to score hardly any touchdowns at home. They've been more effective on the road. Go figure. Second down and 8. And Elway is having an awesome year for Denver.
Certainly is.
50-yard line, 2:33 left in the ballgame. Raiders lead by 1. And here is Bell. And Buffalo will take their last timeout. Clock stop, 2:26. Time remaining. Now they have the clock going.
I didn't understand that.
It was signaled.
It looked to me like Cornelius Bennett had bounced up and called timeout. Now they're going to go down to the 2-minute warning. Evidently, they want to save it for after the 2-minute warning and let the 2-minute warning stop it here on third.
Maybe it was a King's X. I had my fingers crossed behind my back. But he did signal for it. Not accepted. We're down to the 2-minute warning. Raiders 25, Buffalo 24. 2 minutes left. Back in a moment. There at Seattle later this afternoon. Denver 7-4 there at San Diego. The Raiders right now 6-5 could go if they hang on to this 1-point margin 7-5. Miami's 9-2. They host the Giants. That ball game just getting underway now. Buffalo, if they lose, they go to 8-4. They're still right in the mix. And New York, with their loss today, they go to 7-5. And so we have 4 games remaining for all of the teams in the National Football League. And you know what? It's going to go right down to January the 2nd before you can sort it all out again this year.
Yeah, and that's how it's been planned. I mean, that's the way it is on any given Sunday, right?
St. Gibbons Day. Raiders 3, Seattle 1. Those are the timeouts remaining. Raiders with 3, Seattle with 1. You know, you always play the game of management of the clock. I kind of think it would have been better if they'd have taken their timeout, forced them on one more play. Now, at the 2-minute warning, if they'd held them, this would be 4th down.
Plus the fact that it gives the Raiders a chance at the 2-minute warning to go over all of their offensive plays and all over their sets. See, that's what they're afforded to do now here, and so that's, you know, Buffalo might regret not taking the timeout earlier.
3rd down and 5, 47-yard line. Hostetler throws, passes, complete. Tim Brown, first down.
Who else?
Look at that. I had him all the way.
Who else?
Yeah.
And there's the unhappiest man on the field right there, Thurman Thomas.
Facing the sideline. Now Buffalo takes their final timeout, stopping the clock with 1:52 left to go in the ballgame. And again, the score, Raiders 25 and Buffalo 24. good ball game. I'm not sure anybody expected to be this close a ball game.
No, I don't either. It really has been exciting. And hey, a minute 52, let's not forget. I mean, Thurman Thomas fumbled. That could certainly happen on the other side of the ball, especially where the elements are today.
The beleaguered, bickering Buffalo Bills, should they lose by 1, the bickering will continue. The Giants, by the way, with an early 7-point lead over Miami. And a final, Cleveland defeats New Orleans, 17-13.
Sets up a good game in Houston next week between the Browns and the Oilers.
First down, 40-yard line. And here is Nick Bell. We want to thank our statisticians, Gary Haller and Larry Pollock, our spotters, Steve Solomon and Mike McGluck, and Colleen Brennan, our stage manager. Excellent job. Last time that we were all together was on January the 3rd. And that great ball game here. And the greatest comeback in NFL history between the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Oilers. And now, of course, the Raiders will let the clock just do all of the work. In Los Angeles, trying to take their record to 7-5. And will down the ball. And that will make it third down. As the clock continues on its inexorable march.
There's the man, player of the game, absolutely. Look at those numbers. 10 receptions, 182 yards, and a touchdown.
That doesn't tell it all.
No, it doesn't. Big catches. Big catches. That last one, third and five.
Again. Remember the 3rd and 16 catch that he had earlier in the ball game?
Yeah, I don't know what the number is there, but at least half of those, it seems, were on third down. And just think, here's an interesting point, Charlie. Just think, was it about a month ago Tim Brown was going to be traded for Tony Bennett?
Yes.
The Green Bay Packers?
And just think, that last Sunday in Cincinnati, the Raiders lost to Cincinnati, and they come back today to defeat the Buffalo Bills.
Well, the play of the game clearly has to be something involving Tim Brown because he was the player of the game. The big catch that he has.
Our Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game.
Big play down the seam that he's able to make. What a concentration, the catch that he makes. Take a look at the blue shirts that cut in front of him, but it doesn't bother him at all. Hostetler hanging tough in the pocket, drills Tim Brown. Right there, a lot of blue shirts, doesn't matter. He makes the catch. And that is our Hager wrinkle-free super play of the game.
And we'll be back.